upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Jason Gregor Show.
Garchana sends it across.
On Sports 1440.
Red shirt racing back as fast as I can. For Argentina.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, Matt Freeze could be in trouble here. The US could be in trouble here. It's a shocker of a goal from the co-host's point of view.
Day afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, we very much appreciate it. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And we got lots and lots to get to on the program today. The Edmonton Elks are taking on the BC Lions on Thursday. We're going to get to that. We also will talk about now Claude Giroux. He did sign in Ottawa today, and as I mentioned earlier, Do the Oilers have interest? Yes. My understanding, though, was that Claude Giroux's interest really was never that strong coming to the West. Not even anything to do with Edmonton. He's 38 years of age. He turns 39 in January. He's played in Philly and Ottawa and then had that brief pit stop in Florida. The East time zone and the East travel, when you're used to it your entire career, it's really hard to change in your late 30s. So, as I'd said prior, when Giroux's name was out there, even on free agency, people were talking about him. Like, I don't think that was a realistic option, to be honest. And the Oilers, not that they don't need Claude Giroux, but I look at Edmonton and they got a lot of cap space still, all things considered. I'd rather them look to use that for someone who isn't 38. And I don't want to be an ageist, and I know what Jordan Stahl just did, and it was awesome, but it's an outlier. And I think Edmonton, Claude Giroux is more of a playmaker than a shooter. The one thing they need is a shooter. That's what they need. Right? Obviously, Draisaitl's a scorer. He's one of the best goal scorers around. Right? Zach Hyman's great in front of the net, not what I'd call a shooter. Now, maybe Isaac Howard's that guy, but I always temper my expectations of young players. It's a little bit, I think, unfair to want to put all the onus on a rookie and say, okay, you're going to be our shooter. If he comes in, no pressure, and becomes one, awesome. But I wouldn't look at it that way. And we'll see. So we'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Dave McCarthy will join us today. Justin Quinn, we're going to talk about that crazy Brown trade from Boston that happened last week. Really, just because there's so much going on in the NHL, we haven't got around to it, so I want to touch on that. We got Spec and DVD, 5 questions. TR, Julian McKenzie will talk about how heated is that Ottawa-Florida rivalry? Like, just think about overall in the Atlantic Division. Like, there's a lot of rivalries all of a sudden. Buffalo, Florida. Florida, Tampa. Montreal and Buffalo. Now you throw in Ottawa and Florida. Like, you keep hearing more and more that Brady might have worn out his welcome. Now, is Brady going to be scared of anyone in Ottawa? No. But is it going to increase the emotion in a lot of these games? I think it might. And to me, that's all. Then I just throw in Washington because they're massive. They are huge. And you got Tom Wilson. They got some guys that can irritate you. I think the East right now is set up to be more of a physical conference than the West. I think the West is a little bit more speed. Not every team, of course, but probably plays in the hands a little bit of Edmonton. Edmonton, they got enough physical guys, but they're not really going to take you out into the back alley and be overly confident in that regard. They got some guys who can handle themselves, sure. But I wouldn't say that top to bottom, Edmonton is like a really intimidating physical team by any stretch of imagination. And you don't necessarily have to be, but I always think it's a nice little addition to have. That's why I think Colton Dock is a guy I would sign. Probably going to come in on a 2-year deal between 1.2 and 1.4 million. I could see that happening. And then with him, and you got Murphy, you got Frederick, you at least have some guys, Podkolzin. Now, those guys, none of them I would put in the heavyweight category. Light heavies, maybe more middleweight, sure. And I don't think Edmonton's really going to go down the road right now, but maybe during the season, if they feel they need a heavyweight, they go out and get one. So we'll see how that plays out. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is our text line where you can get a hold of us, get your thoughts on the World Cup. Oh my, hey, what did we say, baby? Give me a K, give me an A, give me an R, give me an M, give me an A. Karma. And I kind of feel bad for the U.S. players because they didn't ask for it. Right? They didn't ask for this. They were a team that had all sorts of positive vibes. They had, as the kids like to say, good aura going on. And then everything switched to the phone call, and all of a sudden you're rescinding a red card. Now, it's not the first time it's ever happened, but it's the first time it's happened during the tournament. You did have a few years ago, Ronaldo had one before the tournament started, right? But it wasn't in the tournament, and it sure as heck wasn't during the elimination round. So right away, it didn't look great. Now, I saw some funny jokes online about people saying, now, this is what it took, because Belgians being a team maybe at times wasn't motivated. They looked motivated. They wanted to give you the proverbial bleep you to the host team, and they did. They dominated that game. Like, honestly, of all the games in the round of 16, I thought that was the most one-sided. U.S. had what? Like 2 shots on goal? Like, the goal was a deflection goal. They really didn't generate much. And Belgium full mark. So they moved through. Earlier today, Argentina taking a page out of Belgium's book. Because remember Belgium. So they're in the round of 32. They're through 85 minutes. They're trailing 2-0 to Senegal. And since then, they've outscored teams 7-1. They were literally 5 minutes plus whatever stoppage time was there away from being out of the World Cup. And now they find themselves in the quarterfinals. It's wild, man. That's what we love about sports. It can be unpredictable. Just when you think you're out, they draw you back in. And they are celebrating. I would guarantee in Belgium, hey, we've done a lot of beer testing over the years. I'm telling you, I think Belgium overall has the best consistent quality beers going. I don't know why, but one thing they do well, they would do beers very well. And chocolate. I love the chocolate. And I do like their interpretive dance. Many of them were mirroring the Trump dance, which is classic. Did on the field, did in the room, and that's a great one. And man, it was wild yesterday. Seeing how many Americans will just, oh no, cheating's okay if it benefits us. Well, cheating is the wrong word. But it's just not something that happens very often. So I guess they got their karma. Now, Argentina was down 2-0. There's 11 minutes left in regulation. They scored the 79th minute. Then they scored the 83rd minute. Messi tied up. And then in the 93rd minute, 3 minutes of extra time, they get the game winner. And they win 3-2. And that is, that's a pretty tough loss for Egypt, man. And now there's a little bit of controversy in that game as well. The disallowed goal on the VAR. I'll be honest. Now, I don't watch every VR review, but has anyone seen one that went back that far to see what happened and basically eliminate the goal? That's like offside in the NHL. It's almost like you're going back before the offside and saying, oh, you know what? Here, before this offside, there was an infraction. The offense was in the what was the defensive zone for the team that eventually scored. And now we're going to go back the other way. No. So it was a little weird, I'll be honest. And see, now was it infraction? Sure. But it sure seemed to be quite a ways back from the original play. So that's a tough one. I know, and of course, everybody, oh, it's rigged. It's rigged. Well, if it's rigged, you should say it's rigged right from before the game. Say, I guarantee it, they're going to win. And this, even if they get up 2-0, they'll find a way. Well, they were up 2-0. Right? And so even though that one goal was called back, they still went up 2-0. So if you're going to rig something, like, I don't know, I don't think the players suddenly, it's not like Argentina knew or the organizers knew, say, hey, you know what, we're going to recall this one back because we know they're going to score now 3 goals in basically a span of 14 minutes. So I'm always a little hesitant on the conspiracy theories of rigged or not. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. For all of you diehard footy fans, what's your thoughts on that review on that goal? Little shady? Yeah, it didn't look great. I would agree with that. If I'm an Egyptian fan, I'm probably pretty perturbed. But also, my team still blew a lead, right? We can't forget that. You can say you didn't like that call, fair, but you still had a 2-0 lead. And you blew it in the final 14 minutes. Like that. That just doesn't happen. Hey, boys, I love Doc. Any idea why he hasn't been signed? From Dan. Well, a few things, Dan. There's not a major urgency to do it. Now, I can say I do know that that his representatives, right, Jerry Johansson and Manny, they are having conversations with the Edmonton Oilers. And so both sides feel that a deal is going to get done. Just a matter of when. So this is not one where there's no conversations going on. It just hasn't. There's not a real big urgency. He doesn't. There's no arbitration for him. There could be an offer sheet, but he's not a guy who's going to get an offer sheet at this point. I think both sides know that. Doc wants to be here. The team wants him here. A deal's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens sooner than later, because we know that Doc's going to play here. And I'll tell you right now, you don't want to go through the whole summer not having a deal. Even if you're confident you know you're going to get the deal, there's still geez, why don't I have a deal done? So it's peace of mind. And I do believe that it was, it's something that's going to happen. And like I said, I think 2-year deal in between 1.2, 1.4 mil. I could see it landing in and around there. Also, the Vladdy Guerrero, if you missed it, he did make the All-Star team in MLB, but he has decided that he turned it down. Of course, he won the fan voting for first baseman, but he is going to take the All-Star break to rest his lower back. And, based on the way he's been playing, I don't see how anyone can argue that decision, because he, like the Jays, is struggling right now. Like their offense has been bad, and it's just reaching new levels of bad. Like if it wasn't for Okamoto, where would the Jays be? Right? He hit his 20th home run last night. Only run, unfortunately, in a 10-1 shellacking at the hands of the San Francisco Giants. And there's just all sorts of things wrong with the Jays offense right now. The only good news tonight, it's a bullpen start. And the one area the Jays have been very good in, they win when it's a bullpen start. So we'll see what happens. Also, for those of you who are schedule fanatics, the NHL schedule next Wednesday, teams will release their home openers. And then next Thursday, the new 84-game schedule will come out. First time since 1993 and 1994. Well, those are the only two seasons where the NHL's had 84 games. That's going to be the norm now moving forward. 84 games. Will we have a massive increase in offense overall? You might get the odd guy. I know in 1993, that was the year the NHL had the most 50-goal scorers ever in 14. But then the next year was down to 9. So was it a one-off? Yeah, there's 84 games both years. Just had a lot of goal scoring in 1993. And it kind of came down to 9 still high. As you look at right now in the salary cap era, the most 50-goal scorers in one season has been 5. That has happened 3 different times. And the most 100-point guys in one season was 11 back in 2023. 1993 had 21 guys reach the 100-point plateau. So there are some young guys. If you look, Leo Carlson, Connor Bedard, both of those guys, after 2 months of last season, they were on pace to easily be 100-point players. But then injuries hit. And that's why 100 points isn't just, don't prorate it. I'm sorry you can't do it. Well, I don't care. You got to get to 100 points. You don't get to be called a 100-point player because of your points per game. No. It is 100 points. And you got to pay. Right? Excuse me. You have to play the games to get in on that. So Declan Kruger's here again. Connor Halley will be back next week. Deck, what did you make of that review in the Egypt Argentina game?
Yeah, I thought it was a foul. It's one of those ones that's pretty tough. You feel bad for Egypt. It's not like there's necessarily malicious intent there, but it always kind of goes back to the thing, like, if you accidentally high stick someone in the face, it is in fact still a high stick. That was it. The Argentinian defender, he had control of the ball. His foot was stepped on. He lost control. Sucks for Egypt. The way to give that game away was so tough, but I do think it was the right call by the letter of the law.
Yeah. But what about the fact that they used the error to go that far back?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's the same thing with offside in the NHL, right? Like, does it really affect the play? Is it? And in this case, I think it was. Like, it was a clear strip of possession. That possession led to the goal. I have no problem with it. Like, I know some people are upset. We got a text into Low Tide show that said, hey, like, we're all on the same page. Egypt got hosed, right? I don't really feel that way. Like, I think the right call was made. I think it was a foul that changed the course of the game. I would have called it the same way as well.
All right. So there you have it. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts coming in. We'll get to all those and more, but take our first break. Now, before we go to break, I just want to mention something, because I know today was a tough day for sports fans in Vancouver and Calgary as their two radio stations shut down. Having experienced that myself, I know how the host feels, but more so, I really know how the audience feel. And I didn't really know until I talked to people in June and July of 2023. And for lots of listeners, losing the sports station was really a big blow. I'll tell you right now, most people come up to me. It's a lot of guys. That's our main audience. Obviously, we love the 15% of women audience who listen, which is great. But in that summer, I had more wives, girlfriends come up to me and tell them how I didn't know how important sports radio was to my husband. Like, he's been pretty despondent, pretty upset that there wasn't a station for a while. And that was never lost on me. It was a big reason in my motivation to want to partner up with Stingray and bring sports radio back. I grew up on sports radio. I do think there's something about how it connects you. You agree, you disagree, you scream in your car, at work, you're listening, you're laughing, whatever it is. You feel a connection. And that's gone now for those people. And that's unfortunate. I think when you have big companies who maybe aren't based in radio and they don't understand it, doesn't work good. And I can tell you with Stingray, I can say it with utter confidence that 1440 is going nowhere anytime soon. We actually are doing more. Obviously, we just changed our morning show as Kevin retired. We brought in Tom Gazzola, which is a great hire. We brought in Sean Bell. We're adding more people. We have other plans. Now, you have to diversify. Obviously, many years ago, we weren't live on YouTube. And shout out to all of those who watch on YouTube and get in the comments. That's great. Or you watch it on or listen on TuneIn or wherever. You have to give them options. But it's still the main premise is radio. And it works and it connects people. And it can take you away from your job sometimes. Can be a little bit of an escape. Sometimes it's more of a frustrating escape when your team loses in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. I get it. But I do say with confidence that sports radio in Edmonton will be around for a long time. And to be honest, we've got things coming in the future that are only going to make it better. So I really feel for those in Calgary and Vancouver, because even if you don't cheer for those teams, you don't like it. I think many of you understand that feeling, and you wouldn't really wish that on anybody else. So I hope that somewhere along the lines, there's other people who maybe do what we did, because I can tell you it works. Right? I can tell you with our clients, we keep getting new clients all the time because they see and they hear the benefit of sponsoring and advertising on our station to connect with you, the audience. So thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. We very truly much appreciate it. To all the sponsors who believe in us and know where we're going, we thank you. So have a great afternoon. We'll be back discussing some hockey and football in the first hour of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Kickoff is coming July 9th. Elks, Red Blacks at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Salute to Service presented by YEG Plus. Help us celebrate the heroes and first responders who make our communities great. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all the games with 650 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:25. Welcome back. Tuesday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca tonight. Lotto Max. Good luck. $20 million up for grabs and 20 prizes of $100,000 at PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, we got a loaded show for you, so very much looking forward to it as we get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. If you're looking for vehicles, one-stop shop, baby. GoAuto.ca. Over 15,000 different vehicles, new and used, to look for. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, any color, they got it. 73 different locations. Find one near you at GoAuto.ca. Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us once again. Ty, good afternoon. How you doing?
I am doing good, Gregor. A beautiful day in Edmonton or in St. Albert.
Yeah, well, St. Albert, Edmonton, wherever you're at. Yeah, it is. It's nice, man. That sun coming out for a few days has been absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's drying up some of the golf courses around town because, man, I know golf courses always need a little bit of water. Obviously, like everybody else, we got a little bit too much, but it is slowly drying out in places, which is nice because I think the golfers have the itch a lot, and they've been stunted by that, including yourself. Because aren't you like a week away from your hole-in-one competition?
I am. I'm 6 days away from my second attempt at my hole-in-one at Cattail Crossing. I'll be out there next Monday. First tee-off is going to be at about 6:30 in the morning is what we're aiming for. And then I'll go until I either get a hole-in-one or until 24 hours expires. The event's already up at the Oilers Nation YouTube. If people want to go, you can hit the reminder buttons. When the stream starts, you'll get a little notification. So, yeah, 6 days away, getting my body a little bit prepared.
Oh, yeah. Doing some stretching?
Yeah, I got a couple of things I'm working on. I went and saw my physio guy again, and he's got me hooked up with a couple of things to do, even like throughout the day. So I'm preparing this year. Like last year, my body gave out at about 18 hours. I'm not going to let that happen. Like I am either going the full 24 or I'm making it happen earlier than that.
We shall see, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. A few things. Where do you come out on it? Are the Ducks matching?
I think they are. For like, and the way that I had it explained to me or saw it explained a certain way a couple of days ago, where if you would have told the Anaheim Ducks 4 days ago, hey, if someone would have called and said, we'll offer you 4 mid-first round picks for Leo Carlsson, you would have just hung up the phone. Like there's just no way that you can view that as good value. And I understand that the $18 million cap hit is a part of that. And this year, it might make things a little bit tight. You might need to do like a weird 1-year deal with Cutter Gauthier to try get him around, a number you can stomach. But even if they match Leo Carlsson, next summer, they'll have $39 million in cap space. They'll be fine going forward. Like Chris Kreider and Alex Killorn both come off the books after this upcoming season. And again, I know they need money to fix that blue line. Like it's not a perfect scenario. They got screwed by this. There's no doubt. And Pat Verbeek played his cards wrong. But I just don't think you can let a player as good as Leo Carlsson walk just because you don't want to give him an extra, $5-6 million. Like that's so much money, but he's such a good player. They got to match. I think they have to.
Yeah, I think they probably do, unless they've got some other deals here. And that's why I use the whole week to find out what your options are on a lot of different fronts here. But hey, I get getting Leo Carlsson. It is wild to hear some of the stories that have come out that, Carlsson and his camp said to the Ducks, hey, you know what, we'll take 15, knowing that probably the offer sheets were coming. They gave them the options. They said no. And now they're just like, God, because I'm guessing if it was 15, it probably would have been 15 for even like 7 years. But now it's 5 years at 18 sheets. And he's a good player. He might become a superstar. Might, right? He's got a lot of potential, but potential and doing it are two very different things. And I look back and I'm sure Anaheim, their frugal ways might have finally bit them.
Yeah, and Pat Verbeek has that reputation of being a guy who kind of does the I'm not getting beaten in a negotiation, especially when it's with a young player who we have control over. And, you could say it maybe has worked a couple of times, but then you look and it's like Zegras, poof, that relationship gone. And he probably needed a change of scenery anyways. But Mason McTavish, that relationship deteriorated as well. So it makes you kind of question things because, again, like, it's a lesson to other teams too. Like, don't let it get to this point. Like, look at the Oilers with Dylan Holloway, right? If they would have just said, you know what, let's extend him when his value maybe isn't quite as high and try to turn this into a bargain contract. Like, how different do the Oilers look right now? It's a good lesson to the Oilers with a guy like Matt Savoy. Like, hey, don't wait until he pops. Like, get ahead of the curve and sign the guy. They did so well doing it with Vasily Podkolzin. And to bring it back to the Ducks, if halfway through last season, when it became clear that Leo Carlsson was taking a big step in his development, if you would have gone to him halfway through the year and said, you know what, we think you're a big part of this future, in December or January, you might have been able to get this guy extended for what, $10-11 million. And of course, it takes two to tango. The players got to agree, all of that stuff. But I just think being proactive with your young players in this new era where the cap should continue to shoot up year after year, those teams are going to look the best. Look at Montreal, right? Montreal looks amazing right now because they were proactive signing all these guys.
Yeah. No, that is fair. I think Colton Dach's contract's probably going to be a 1.2 to 1.4 million, probably on a 2-year deal. And then the Oilers will have all their guys signed. I don't think it's going to be that far away, to be honest. Both sides, they've had discussions. I don't think it's going to be a too difficult of one to agree to, and then they'll move forward with it. Where do you see Dach potentially in the future for the Oilers?
I really liked what I saw from him last year. Like, he was a pleasant surprise. I kind of viewed him as, oh, is he just a throw-in in this Jason Dickinson deal? And I was obviously wrong on that because he's got some jam. I think they need some of that. You know, this fan base is still in love with Connor Clattenburg because of what they saw out of him for a handful of games in November and December. And there's no denying that Colton Dach is a much more polished player than Connor Clattenburg. So I think he's got an inside track to a job just because he brings some jam and toughness that they really lost. You know, you trade away Darnell Nurse, you want to keep some amount of toughness in your lineup. And I'm not a fan of just keeping a guy like Josh Brown around as your seventh defenseman because you think he's big and mean. Like, no, get a guy who can play. And Colton Dach showed it a few points. Like, he's got good hands. He can chip in with a little bit of offense, even when he's only getting 8 or 9 minutes a night. And I can also see him being the style of player that Mike Babcock looks at and goes, yeah, like, I like what I'm getting when I play him in a fourth line role. The only problem for Colton Dach is there's a lot of guys fighting for those jobs. I mean, Friedman had a thing the other day that, you know, Edwards Traumax is a guy who could play a style of hockey that Babcock could really like. And then, you know, you throw in the Clattenburgs, Szymanskis, Ike Howard on Puckpedia is listed as down in Bakersfield, Matthew Joseph, Janmark, like, go down the list. There's so many guys fighting for like 6 or 7 jobs, less than that. Dickinson and Nuge will take 2 of the jobs on the third line. There's 8 guys maybe fighting for only 4 jobs come camp. And that's where Dach's going to have to, again, come out of the gates pretty hot here because the competition will be fierce.
Yeah, I kind of crunched numbers. I wrote in my article today. Like, I think there's 10 guys who are locks, and I have Dach as one of the 10. And I think Ike Howard is as close as you can get to a lock. He's going to be on the opening day roster at least for one day, because otherwise he'd be a way higher cap hit to bring him up during the season. So that'll be, although I guess, no, maybe that's only if you're an LTIR, I think, or no, if he's called up, yeah, it counts against bonuses potentially, but either way, I think that's a small factor in it. I think though, the 3 J's, Jones, Janmark, and Joseph, I only think one of those guys could make the team.
And they're probably making the team as the 13th forward in that scenario. Like, again, you kind of start to map out how all the lines are going to work. And Ike Howard, he's a bit of an unknown coming into training camp. A lot of people, like, I wrote a piece talking about how I still would like Stan Bowman to kind of go out and get aggressive on the trade market if he can, and try to add a top 6 winger or a middle 6 winger, if you want to call them that, who can add some scoring punch to this team. And someone replied and said, well, why would you want to take away Ike Howard's ice time? And it's like, take away? He's got to earn it. Like, young players have to come in and earn it. I'm not penciling Ike Howard into the top line next to Connor McDavid and saying there's a 20-goal scorer. Like, that's not how good organizations operate. You should give him an opportunity. He should get some minutes in a preseason game. And if he looks good, like, give him a chance. I'm not saying bury the guy just because he's young, but I just don't like the idea of going into next season, crossing your fingers and saying, boy, Ike Howard better be a 20, 25 goal guy for us, because that's just setting someone up for failure. So yeah, I really like the idea of going out and adding another top 6 winger. And once you do that, if you do that, you see the way that the Kapanens and Fredericks and everyone slots out. And it's like, Janmark, Joseph, Jones, they might be fighting for a spot in the NHL press box. They might just be fighting to not be in Bakersfield to start the year, never mind actually playing on opening night.
Yeah. The Ike Howard, he's going to start here, don't you think?
I would like to see them add a layer of depth so that he's not forced to start here. Like, if he comes in and wins a job and looks great and he had a great summer and all these things, then yeah, he should absolutely start here. But I don't know. I don't mind the idea of going out and I wrote today, like, if Pittsburgh is open to trading a Raquel or a Rust, I'd be all over that if I'm Edmonton, because there's 2 guys who can generate offense at 5-on-5, who've proven they can play with high-skilled centermen. And if you get those guys and Ike Howard shows up and looks great, well, then awesome. Howard's on one line. You put Raquel or Rust on the other. Maybe it's a scenario where Podkolzin's on the third line, or if someone gets hurt, you're not putting guys in awkward spots. Like, I like the idea of adding a layer of depth so that Ike Howard just isn't written in pen to start the season as your first or second line left wing. Like, build yourself a little bit of insurance in case he's not quite ready.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I think so. I look at Howard, and the reason I want to give him a look is because he brings something that they really don't have anybody else on the lineup who's a pure shooter as a winger. And I think that's something they need. Now, maybe they can go out and get a veteran. I don't think the best veterans you can get are available right now. I think I'd wait close to the deadline to get that guy.
Yeah, and I added that too. I was like, you know what? Maybe the calculated risk you take as a part of this is if Seattle flames out, is Jared McCann available at the deadline? If Detroit flames out, is Alex DeBrincat available at the trade deadline? And, not perfect players by any means, but definitely guys who you can look at them and go, whew, would they ever look good next to 29 or 97? So there is that side of it. Stan Bowman's got to weigh that, but I also just really don't want, I see some people doing it like, oh, just accrue all this cap space. What do you want to accrue up to $28 million for the deadline, and then you can't spend it all, and you can't have those guys in your playoff lineup, and you don't even have the assets to go get $28 million worth of players anyways? So I just want them to keep their options open here. I don't think that just because it's July 7th, they should, stop trying to improve the team. I'm not saying that they are. I just would like to, again, see if these names are out there on the market. I'd like to hear that the Oilers are interested in them.
Yeah, 100%. What about now? The one offer sheet that has to be decided is tomorrow first in New Jersey and Utah. You think Utah, Matt? Like, you look at it, it's $4.7 million. I know that you walk him directly to free agency, but you could also sign him to an extension afterwards. I like the play by New Jersey. It's one I think about, but I don't think I'm letting Barrett Hayton walk for a second-round pick.
The only reason I think there's maybe a chance is, one, the fact that you would be stuck with him and can't trade him for a year. So you're basically stuck either extending him or potentially seeing him walk to unrestricted free agency. And also, they just acquired Vincent Trocheck. So you look down the middle, Nick Schmaltz, Logan Cooley, Vincent Trocheck. That's a decent group of centermen to start the year. You look at the left side, they signed Anders Lee. That's kind of where Barrett Hayton goes if he's not playing center. I know he's a bit of a versatile piece, but they still have quite a bit of talent in that forward group in Utah. So maybe they do just say, hey, we might lose him for nothing next year. And this also might come down to how they view the relationship. Like, if they think there's a good chance they can extend Barrett Hayton, then yeah, match and have an extension conversation, and then away you go. But if they're looking at him and going, ooh, maybe he's got his eyes elsewhere and he's walking for nothing next year, you get the second round pick. Maybe you can strong arm Sonny Meta. Like, when the Oilers gave St. Louis sort of the reported ultimatum of, you can give us Fisher and an extra third round pick, or we might match on Holloway, and St. Louis gave them an extra couple assets. So maybe if you're Utah, you go to New Jersey and say, hey, we know he's probably going to leave for nothing at the end of next year. We want to keep the player this year, but you know what? We'll cut out all the drama. Why don't you just give us an extra pick, and then you can have them, and we'll go our way with the guys we have.
Yeah. I look at Utah, and I don't think they're a finished product yet, and I would keep him. So that's just me, but I'll be interested to see what they do tomorrow. One last one for you on the local front. The Elks should be a good night of football, weather-wise, on Thursday. They're 3-1, and an opportunity to go up 4-1, and then you got like a 2-game homestand, which doesn't happen very often in the CFL. Like, they got a chance to really start building something here.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. Like, a good opportunity coming up here against a Red Blacks team that is very beatable. A bit of a heartbreaker in BC with that turnover late, but I mean, you can see the respect they're starting to get around the league. I just fired up and wanted to see, because of course I do, what the spread was. Like, they're 6.5 point favorites coming up this Thursday. When was the last time the Elks were 6.5 point favorites in a game, Gregs?
Might have to send out a note to Play Alberta. I bet you it's been a while, man. Been a while for sure. So good for them. No major injuries. Pace might be the only guy who gets added to the injury list. I think Robustelli is going to play next Friday. I don't expect him to play this Thursday, but when he comes back in, that'll be another weapon for them offensively, and we'll see how it goes. So limber up, Ty. The next time we'll be talking to you, you'll either have a hole-in-one or a lot of blisters, one of the two.
I don't, based on how I went last year, like, I got home at midnight last year, just after, and I slept straight until 2:30. So we'll have to figure out the time for next week's hit on Tuesday. There's a very good chance I sleep through your show.
Yeah, we can always bump it back, buddy. No problem. No
right.
problem. There you go. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's Tyler Ramchuk from Oilersnation and Daily Faceoff. He's a little less confident. Like last year, he's like, I'll get a home run, no problem. Got so many swings. And then, man, he was just a swinging machine. And then he was in the hurt box for a while. So now you learn to say, hey, you know what? Pace yourself. It's the old adage, the horse that poops the fastest doesn't poop the longest. So keep that in mind. You don't know. It's not always a sprint. It's not always a sprint. So take a little bit of time in between your swings. And I'd like to see him get one. Be good. Be very good. Take a quick break. We got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We're going to read a lot of those. Julie McKenzie will join us. A rivalry that is brewing. Who would be the most likely to take the rivalry to the next level? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Oodle Noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at CanTorque.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada. Where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:48 Tuesday afternoon. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger. Almost said it again. Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you want to get in the action. We got a little MLB lovers game today. Also, Slump Busters, the Jays. Just get some hits. We got a few guys getting, and not even a lot. Just like a few bases. Dare to dream. Because right now, oh my God, the Jays, they're in a slump reminiscent of a young Kevin Karius at O'Burns. Just nonstop strikeouts, man. It was unbelievable time. Unbelievable. If I hadn't seen it in person over the years, I never would have believed it. So, yeah, it's every now and then you see one, and that's what the Jays are right now. They couldn't pay for a hit right now. Can't do it. Let's get to Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And thankfully the heat, man. But with the heat, you want to cool down. How about an ice cream cone for only $1? Pretty damn good deal. Download the McDonald's app and order it through the app at any Edmonton and area McDonald's right now. And we head out to Ottawa. Talk a little off-season action with Julian McKenzie from The Athletic. Julian, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing very well. How you doing?
I am doing great. So I'm waiting, and I'm sure Sens fans are waiting until next Thursday. They can put a circle with multiple red marks around it when Florida and Ottawa play. Because I've heard some stories afterwards that read some stories. Bruce Garriock and other guys, yourself, reporting that this division in the room kind of started after the Olympics, and it just kind of got a little bit bigger, and it was time now for a change for their captain. So my question is, how intense do you think that's going to be? Are there guys in that room, do you think, that will be like, okay, we want to show this guy that this isn't acceptable?
I'm still intrigued as to how deep the frustration was over the Tkachuk podcast. At least the way it's been conveyed to me is that it seems like everyone in that room, or not everyone in that room, but I think a significant portion of people in that room were not happy that it turned into a bigger thing. And look, if Brady Tkachuk stayed on this team next season, while I think fans would be like, okay, well, you get another year at keeping Brady Tkachuk on your team, we all know entering this next season, the biggest question that would surround him is, hey, you're extension eligible as of next summer. Are you going to stay? And what is this team going to do? I think the team was at a point where all the noise that was around Brady Tkachuk over this podcast and stuff like that was a lot to deal with. And they knew whatever noise was going to come with him after was going to be tough to deal with too. So I think a lot of it is just like a sense of relief that he's gone to some degree, but I think they are going to miss him as a presence in that room and as a player that he is, right? Like, we all know him to be the unicorn, a guy who can be very physical, put up points as a winger. Like, I think there are people in the city who will eventually come to miss him after these couple of weeks where everyone has every right to be upset. I'm not saying people shouldn't be upset, and they will be upset when he does come back. And when he does come back, fans have every right to boo him or treat him the way they want to treat him. And the players are also not going to back down either. And Brady is going to, relish, especially in that first game back in Ottawa, a player who has relished being a villain to 31 other teams in the NHL. He's going to lean into it, and he's going to have people around him tell him to lean into that too. And if you're the Ottawa Senators, you're looking at that and you're saying, well, well, I don't want Brady to show me up. I don't want him to come up and try to show us up in our own building. That's a game you have to circle, I think, if you're Tim Stutzla in that room or even Jake Sanderson, and be like, hey, I appreciate being your teammate all these years, but we have to talk about you all day in the morning, in the afternoon, and whatever. I'm tired of it. We want to beat you and get this over with. They're definitely circling that day, whenever that is.
Yeah. And when Nick Cousins is one, they got a few guys, Ridley Gregg is definitely not one to stir the pot, but they don't necessarily have like somebody I think who's going to want to drop the mitts with them.
I mean, it's a very good point, I guess. I mean, unless they dress Curtis McDermott for that game and they decide to make him do that. But you're right. They don't have – I mean, it's funny because Brady Tkachuk could have been that guy, but even Brady Tkachuk this past year told us he was going to be choosy about when he wanted to fight. And then people kept pointing out that he was not himself. And one of those attributes that are supposedly part of himself is the fact that he could fight. And that's why all that noise that was around him, I think that got to him, and that made him want to drop the gloves twice in a season against Anders Lee. And I think that also resonated in his mind when the opportunity came to fight Jordan Staal in game one of the playoffs, because people associate that part of his game to him, and it worked out the way that it did, and maybe less so in game one of the playoffs. But yeah, you're right. Like, that's a situation where if it came to someone strapping with him, there's not an immediate player in this lineup who I think would be able to go not toe to toe in a full on scrap. I would say, like, if you're in a scrum and someone wanted to get a little dirty, fine, like Ridley Gregg. And hey, I mean, I don't know what the schedule is, but could you imagine if they put that game the first two games of the year? You're not going to have Ridley Gregg in the lineup because he's still suspended for what he did against Carolina. So that's something to look out for.
Yeah. So you look at the Ottawa team, and at the end of the day, hey, they lost Brady Tkachuk. They lost their captain. He's a pretty good player. So you kind of look, and they didn't replace him in that trade specifically. They did get Burakovsky in another trade. They also got William Eklund in another trade. So if you look at their forward group, do they have the right combination? Do you think they need a little bit more grit in their top 12, or do you like kind of the makeup of what they look like right now?
I think they need a finisher more than anything.
Okay.
I think they have depth up and down their wings. I do like their top three centers. I'm very curious as to who gets put as a 4C on this team, whether they make Stephen Halliday the guy, or if they go out and they get another depth center to fill in that role that Lars Eller filled in last year. But for me on this team, I see a lot of guys in the top six particularly who are playmakers, and I think this team could benefit from having another finisher on this team. Or maybe you're hoping that Drake Batherson has himself another great year and gets himself into the 40-goal plateau after reaching the 30-goal plateau this year. Tim Stutzla is a guy who is capable of doing that, but like everyone complains all the time, and he knows it too, he doesn't shoot enough. But like I also think just it'd be good if he could just focus on dishing and focus on being the responsible two-way center he wants to be, while feeding the puck to somebody who can worry more about providing that offense. I think the grit is up and down this lineup in terms of even a guy like what Burakovsky maybe be able to bring in theory, I'm not sure. But like a guy like Cousins for sure could bring that. A guy like Ridley Gregg can bring that. And Dylan Cousins, the other Cousins on this team too, has that size and can be gritty when you need him to be too. I just think if this team could get themselves a goal scorer that can play in their top six, then I think I feel a little bit better about this lineup. But the one thing I'll say is, as tough as this Atlantic division is going to be, I think this group they'll lean on the fact that they know what to expect from Travis Green and the play style that worked out for them, at least analytically, in the regular season, compared to maybe some of these other teams who have done a few more moves and maybe there's a bit more work in terms of embedding their guys into their culture. It seems like the Sens, barring anything crazy, a lot of the guys who are going to be back on this team, they know what's expected of them to go through an 82-game regular season grind. And if Linus Ullmark holds up his end of the bargain, that makes a huge difference compared to what they did last year.
Well, that's the big one, right? Because their numbers amongst their skaters were really good. Shot suppression, quality shots. They just didn't get the goaltending that was needed in the regular season anyway to be competitive. And then when you look at their goalies, like, what's your thoughts on Urson?
I'm still intrigued at the signing, to be truthful with you. Every time we've asked Steve Staios about it, he said, he's leaning on his group of goaltending gurus in Mathieu Schwab, who's a guy who helped out Linus Ullmark in the back half of the year and has helped him out in his career, and Justin Peters, who's the goaltending coach. And Steve Staios, every time we ask him about it, says those guys identified Sam Urson, who I believe has some familiarity with Mathieu, because they're both Swedish, and Urson was also on the Four Nations team with Team Sweden once upon a time. They identify him as a young guy who could benefit from being in a new environment and possibly working wonders as a number 2 on this team. But also the numbers don't lie as well. In terms of Money Puck's numbers, he's been one of the worst goaltenders in terms of goals saved above expected. I've said before, like, I'm intrigued. It's a bit of a head scratcher at the fact that they traded for him and then negotiated a whole new contract for him when maybe they could have had him for free as a free agent. But I'm willing to understand if the goaltending gurus on this team feel that he's someone who could stand to get better. But if he doesn't pan out and Linus Ullmark has another so-so start to the season, which we've seen in back-to-back years with Ottawa, and then you're left with Levi Marilainen, who gets a second chance, that would be a very interesting situation. I also think we might see a year where, and I think more teams are trying to do this too, you're going to see more of a split with the goaltenders that they have. And I think Levi Marilainen might get in some games as well too, because they still believe in this guy and they don't want him lost in the shuffle.
Last one, Julian, because I'm asking everybody, what's your thoughts? Match or no match for the Ducks on Friday?
Man, I love what the Flyers did. I love the fact that they used the offer sheets. We'll see how it works out in terms of compensation. I think Anaheim has to do it. I hope they don't. I hope the Flyers keep Leo Carlson, but I think the Ducks might have to match. I say they do it.
Yeah. It'd be hard to let them walk away unless they've got some other deal right in here that could soften the blow. And that's why you take the full week. If you're Pat Verbeek, it's up to you now to try to make the best of this situation and see if, okay, so if I get these rounders, would you be interested in this trade? Would you be interested in that? And see if maybe, you know what, okay, we don't match, but then you would have some other moves that would happen right away to make sense. But it is either way, Philly or Anaheim, that is a tough cap hit to swallow. And
$18 million is a lot. But Leo Carlson has shown in the little bit of time he's been in the league, he could grow into that contract. I wonder now about everyone else on that Anaheim team who has to get paid. Carter Gauthier is not eligible for an offer sheet, but that's a man who's going to start commanding some money. And then, of course, the domino effect to fall for everyone else in the National Hockey League. Because if Leo Carlson is making $18 million, how much do you think, Connor McDavid should make?
Yeah. And others. So we will, we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here for him. But it is, a lot of people think the NHL has changed forever because of it. Maybe. I really think the NHL really hasn't seen, Kaprizov got $17 million last year. I don't know if it changed everything. This guy's $1 million more, right? It's an offer sheet. I understand it, but I do not believe that suddenly teams are going to go this way because yes, you get the player, but teams would have to see if it actually leads to success for your team. He might score you 100 points, but he takes up so much of your cap, you might not be able to build a competitive team. That's going to be the challenge.
Which is fair, but also we're in a rising cap environment, right?
Yeah.
And a guy like Leo Carlson is a young talent who it's really difficult to find these guys. They don't grow on trees. And if you're a team like a Chicago or a team like a San Jose, and you have a budding superstar on your team, it is imperative that you keep them long term and you do everything you can to keep them around. And that might mean giving them 18, 19, 20 million, and you hope that cap keeps going up. It's one thing if you're giving that money to a player who's 32 years old and over the hill. It's a whole other thing if you have a budding superstar or at least a high-level star quality player, and he's in his early 20s, and you're giving him that long-term deal and all that money. I think a lot of it is just sticker shock from a lot of people who are used to seeing these teams where it's oh man, you may have paid your guy $12 million, but these Stanley Cup winning teams are still paying guys below $9 million. we're going to get through that, and it's going to be a lot less shocking to us in like 2-3 years.
Julian, great stuff, buddy. We appreciate it. Talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. So another guy, we put him on the list. We're asking everybody. And what do you guys say? I put the question out. It was interesting. Online, it's like 68% on our poll. And I had over 6,000 votes. But it was strong that the Ducks won't match. Interesting. A lot of people said, Gregor, there's got to be a lot of Flyer fans voting on that. Maybe. Very much, maybe. We'll take a quick break. Let's get to Declan and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. If you are looking for quality work done right, site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more, go to hiregood.ca. Stable jobs create stable lives. Hire Good.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Wimbledon action currently Felix Auger-Aliassime and Novak Djokovic in the fifth set of their match on serve, 2-1 for Djokovic. Earlier today, it was Jannik Sinner in straight sets in his quarterfinal match. FIFA World Cup right now, Switzerland and Colombia tied 0-0 at halftime, but earlier today was Argentina over Egypt 3-2. One final from the MLB in game one of a doubleheader saw the Brewers over the Cards 4-3. In about an hour and a half's time, we will see the Cubs and the Orioles and the A's and the Tigers. Jays also in action, of course, 7:45 first pitch out in San Francisco, and it will be Miles on the bump in that one. Some news from around the sporting world is the Toronto Maple Leafs are hiring former Senators rival Daniel Alfredson as an associate head coach, while Kyle Lowry has signed a one-day contract to retire as a member of the Toronto Raptors. Summer McIntosh will be withdrawing from the Canadian swimming trials due to an illness, and Donovan Mitchell signed his 4-year, $273 million extension with the Cavs. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
The Riverhawks are back, and the fun is too. Catch Italian Plumber Video Game Night, Star Wars with a post-game fireworks show, and kids crash the park Sunday with a poster giveaway presented by Save On Foods. Bring the family. Kids tickets from $10 at GoHawks.ca.
Boxing Week is back at the Brick. Don't wait until winter. Get blowout pricing now. Save 55% off sofas when you buy the matching piece. Save up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get free local delivery when you use your Flexity card. And buy more, save more. Up to $500 off select major appliances. Don't miss the return of Boxing Week, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanTorque brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Vashon Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks
precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.com.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. And they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. How you doing? Gregor, Kruger, Paulson, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. I want to get to lots of the text we got to the Gregor Show. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And do you believe, can the slump busters, can it happen tonight? I don't know. Do they go sacrifice a chicken? They got to find Joe Boo? What do they got to do? Because, oh my goodness. The Jays offense right now, lethargic, to put it nicely. Not looking good at all. So we'll see if they can find a way to just try to get a few hits. It's hard enough to win. Well, obviously when you get shut out every game, it's really difficult to win. But you look at the Jays. So last night, 3 hits, not a good effort. All right. Then you go to Sunday's game, 3 hits. Now they only gave up 6, but they still lost 4 runs. Then you go to Saturday's game where they were also shutouts. So they had back-to-back shutouts, 1 hit. And on Friday, when they did win a game, now they scored a whopping 2 runs, 6 hits. So it has been, they have scored 3 runs in their last 4 games. I am no mathematician, but I know simple things. If you can't average at least 1 run a game, you ain't winning very often. So, the only game they won was 2-0 when Cease was great. And, of course, Varland got to save. And so tonight, maybe it's what they need. Because the one thing the Jays are good at this year is bullpen starts, which is kind of a sad state. But nonetheless, when their bullpen starts, they have a much better opportunity of winning. Justin Pace, so there's going to be at least 1 lineup change, we know for sure, for the Elks on Thursday. Pace was in. He didn't practice again today. He's not going to play on Thursday. Robustelli, he's questionable for the game. I could see him just waiting another week for sure. He's questionable. He didn't go full out. I'd need to see him full out in practice before I think he's going to get the A-OK. Hamstrings, no joke, man. They're no joke. They can be a little bit finicky. It can be very sensitive, and usually you don't rush them back because that normally just leads to bigger problems. But let's get to some of the texts in at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, you're 100% correct about sports radio. Live radio is my anchor since I become single again. It's my sole contact with the outside world some days. Whether my texts are read or not, I have a feeling participation. I I know there are other live programs that most other hosts just seem to want to list themselves other than on your station. So I very much appreciate it and grateful that many of you in the 1260 alum took a risk and filled the gap for us from Phil. Well, Phil, man, I really appreciate that a lot. Hey, Gregor, well said about the radio stations. In the summertime, I go to the lake for about a month, and I do tune into Vancouver. Interesting radio for the last couple of years due to the Canucks situation. Won't be listening to this summer, streaming you guys. Well, that's good, buddy. And, I honestly, I think I know that you kind of don't like Calgary and Vancouver, and rightfully so. As a fan, you shouldn't. But I think you can respect it as a sports fan, that feeling of what happens when the station goes away. And for a lot of people there, that's what happens. And I would hope there would be somebody in those markets that would have the gumption and wherewithal to try what we did. But I don't know. I'd like to see it happen. Not sure they will. But I can tell you unequivocally that the audience is there. We every day we keep getting new listeners, and we can tell that just by new texters that we get, because anybody who's texting the show, we always have your name now, give a nickname, whatever it is. So it's awesome. You can always tell when there's a newbie because there's not a name attached to it. And I think it's easier to interact with people. You don't have to tell us your name every time now because it's right at the top of the board. So we know who it is. And our online numbers, you look at our social media and people watching on YouTube and everywhere else, like the numbers just keep growing. There's definitely interest. Now, we're blessed. Edmonton is a fantastic sporting community. I grew up here. I grew up listening to John Short. Obviously, I'm very passionate about sports radio, but just passionate about all the sports, man. Like, look at the Riverhawks' success, right? Stingers are doing pretty well, right? The Elks, and probably a lot of their struggles were self-inflicted. Like, at some point as a fan, you can say no mas. And they did that. But now the fans are coming back. Like, I'm very curious to see what the crowd's going to be like on Thursday. I think I won't be surprised if it's 25,000. Plus, last summer, and the Elks they didn't have a winning record at any point last year. And there were still a few games where they had close to, I think it was 30,000 for the one game and 29 for the other. And I can see those numbers going. I won't be surprised at all if the weather's nice. When you get into weekend games, we're going to see a sold-out lower bowl at Commonwealth for the Elks this year. I won't be surprised at all. You look at Oil King fans, number one drawing team in the WHL. Now, Kevin Radomski and his team does an awesome job, but the fans, they come and support him. Better than any other market. Oilers, even despite the ridiculously high prices, people still support that team incredibly well. So it's a great sports community. There's no arguing that. Events come in here, soccer and other things, and people show up. And I can tell you just by our audience numbers, we have a pretty large audience, and it's awesome. So I would hope, even though you say there's certain things you don't want to wish on your worst enemy, many of you, your worst enemy might be a Flame fan, but you'd rather that they had sports radio. Because let's be honest, half the time Calgary Sports Radio was talking about Edmonton anyway. It was always comical. I found that quite funny. So it's good. Lots more texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregs, what do you think about the idea of the Oilers signing Laine to a cheap deal, high upside, and can play with McDavid? There's a potential, like, I'm not sure if the upside is there as much for Laine as it used to be, simply because he is, like, he's not the player he was when he first came into the league. Right? Like, he can still shoot the puck. He's got a rocket. Right? I don't think anybody doubts that. But can he produce? Can he skate? Can he keep up to the game 5-on-5? Most of his goals last year in Montreal, when he played, were on the power play. Right? So that's the challenge that I have with a guy like Patrick Laine, is what can he do 5-on-5? Now, I don't know if he would do it, but selfishly, I'd probably be like, why don't we try Patrick on on a PTO. No harm, no foul. You can come in, buddy. We can play a fair amount of games. Well, I guess he would still only qualify for 2, but I wonder if he would get an exception. I got to talk to Bill Scott about that. I know that it's 100 games experience. You can't play more than 2 games, but I think there's something about injury. I just got to double check on that, because I think that could be something to at least consider for what you could do with a guy like Patrick Laine. Because I understand, like, if you look at Laine, like last year in Montreal, and even the year before, he had 3 goals in 52 games, 5-on-5. So if you go back to really over the last 3 years, and he's only played in that time 75 games over the last 3 years combined due to injury, and he has 6 goals and 15 points, 5-on-5 in those 75 games. So that's where I'm not certain if he can produce as well as you think. Right? Now, prior to that, he'd been a pretty productive player, 5-on-5. But coming from these injuries, I'm a little worried about his skating. So hey, Greg, you talked a lot about Flames and Leafs when you're in a decade of darkness. Flamer 89, I can tell you unequivocally that is incorrect. Because the Flames weren't like they were very good in the Oilers' decade of darkness. And the Leafs, no. Like Calgary, trust me, I've listened to it. I've been on their shows quite often. They'll compare themselves lots to Edmonton. There's a little bit of a big brother, little brother syndrome there in Calgary. But I can tell you, if we talk, like, sure, we do interviews of Flames guys, but it was not, it was never to the extent. And I've talked to people who live in Calgary even. They're just like, man, days, they're just infatuated with Edmonton, which is great. Hey, it's a rivalry. And they love taking their shots, but, and maybe Edmonton doesn't because the Flames simply haven't, like, they've won 1 cup, right? They haven't won as much. So fans here, like, we don't get a lot of texts. Obviously, when the Battle of Alberta got renewed, thankfully due to Tkachuk, I've always said that. Best thing Tkachuk did was renew the Battle of Alberta because it had been pretty dormant there for a while. And Tkachuk and Cassian, and then the Mike Smith, that got it back on. And then, of course, you met in the playoffs, which made it even better. And unfortunately, since the playoff meeting, the rivalry, there hasn't been much. Like, it's too bad because I would love it. Like, it would be awesome if the Flames and Oilers were both good at the same time like they were in the 80s, man. Like, those games are now, I know the games change. We're not going to have line brawls and bench brawls and anything like that. But if you had both teams highly competitive, there's a whole generation and maybe 2 generations of fans who've never experienced it. Like, you had the playoff run in 2022 and the Oilers won in 5. And though, hey, the first 3 games of that series were pretty exciting, right? 9-6 and 8. Was it 9-6 and 8-6? 9-6 definitely in game 1. Might have been 6-4. I'd have to look up the scores again. 6-4 maybe in game 2. But either way, like, there was a lot of offense, not a ton of defense. But since then, the rivalry just hasn't really been the same. Because one team has been a Stanley Cup finalist twice, and the other team is in a rebuild again. Right? And trust me, Edmonton was the bad team for a long time too. No, this is not me casting stones at the Flames. It's just telling the truth right now. It's even Vancouver. Like, the Canucks-Oilers rivalry isn't as intense as it was. Simply because the Canucks right now are, like, well, they're on a full rebuild, and I credit them for saying they're a full rebuild. Could you imagine? Like, what? It would be great if we could get back to the point where all 3 were competitive. It'd be awesome. It's hard to do, but it would be awesome because I'm telling you, as an Oilers fan, you would love it. Like, it might irritate you when the Flames beat you, but you have friends who are Flames fans. You have friends who are Canucks fans. It just heightens it, man. Like, think about it. When, like, Oilers fans used to hate the Canucks. Now, they were good. You had the Sedins. They were good. But then Kessler and Bieksa and Burroughs, like guys just, faces that you wanted to punch. Right? They were a good team, and they were mouthy about it. And it was awesome. Made the rivalry fun. But right now, there's not a lot of animosity. Like, I wish you could look at the schedule, because I'll tell you right now, when Oiler fans look at the schedule when it comes out next Thursday, the Edmonton-Calgary games, I'm not even sure they'll be like top 5 games you would look at as an Oiler fan. Right? Like you can say, hey, when do the Oilers play? Fill in the blanks. If you look at the schedule deck, it comes out. What's the first game that you would look at to see who the Oilers play? Outside of the home opener, because everybody likes to see the home opener.
Me personally?
Yeah.
Flames.
It is the Flames still?
Yeah, Flames or Canucks.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Canucks is just a pure Haywatch thing, but I think like the inherent rivalry with Calgary is really special.
See, I thought it'd be Vegas. Right? You played them in the playoff. Vegas is good. Right? Maybe Anaheim. They beat the team in the playoffs. I still think Florida. Oiler fans will look at Florida. But I'd be curious, Oiler fans, let me know when the schedule comes out, regardless of when it comes out, outside of the home opener, because everybody just likes home opener, what is the game opposition that you look for first and why? I'm just curious. Who and why? 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Think about it and send me your answers. We'll return. Dave A. McCarthy joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Kickoff is coming July 9th. Elks, Red Blacks at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Salute to Service presented by YEG Plus. Help us celebrate the heroes and first responders who make our communities great. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jaffa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk. Elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood.
Trouble low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 11th. Don't miss an international doubleheader as Canada takes on Portugal and Tonga battles Spain.
Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
What's it like to score a winning deal at Car West Leduc? Like raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience a vast, uncompromising selection of top-quality used vehicles with no extra fees. Trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Any project, big or small, when you need metal cut to your exact measurements fast, count on Metal Supermarkets, a warehouse bursting at the seams with inventory, plus metal bending, drilling, punching, notching, plasma cutting, welding, even delivery. Endless possibilities. Now imagine what they can do for you.
How about a garage shelf?
Think bigger, my friend.
2 garage shelves?
There you go.
I live on the edge.
The local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Pro sports, local sports, minor leagues, you got it all. It's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh man, it's a classic. I don't care what age you are. And I know, hey, you know what? I have noticed talking to, not that I go there myself, but there's a few little dance places coming back in Edmonton. It's good for the younger generation. I'm telling you, some of the most fun in your life will be when you hit the dance floor. Tell you, gentlemen, easiest way to break the ice with a lady is just go dance. Simple. Easy. Fun, and you can show a little personality. Way you go. These don't even have to talk that much. All right. Shake your moneymaker. Way you go. It's good times. Is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And hey, speaking of moneymakers, tonight, Lotto Max, $20 million and 20 prizes of $100,000. Good luck. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, as it's time to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Projects, service, testing, residential, and commercial solar. Action Electrical. 53 years in business. They become one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province. Check them out, actionelectrical.net, as we are joined by Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM and NHL.com. Davey, how you doing, my man?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? Stop raining in your neck of the woods or what?
Well, buddy, 3 days with sun. It's like, what's going on here? So I don't want to jinx it, but it's been a nice reprieve. I think it's actually supposed to be 29 today. So that's and honestly, after being so damn well, we need it because man, it is like there's still places where there's water that I haven't seen water in literally in like a decade.
Right.
So it's the place is pretty wet. I know sadly some people had lots of flooded basements and other areas. Heck, the golf courses, man. Like there's a few golf courses that areas of their golf course are like right underwater. So they got to get need a little to solve that problem. I do want to ask you, Dave. Now you're a little bit different because obviously you're not a fan, but I was asking people here in Edmonton. We got lots of different answers. Said when the schedule comes out, excluding opening night, who's the first team on the schedule you look for who the Oilers are playing? And we got a lot of Vancouver's, Calgary, Vegas, etc. So this year, who do you think the Toronto fan, who would be team number one when they open up the schedule next Thursday to say, oh, when are the Leafs playing blank?
That's a good question. I mean, it was an obvious answer last year at this time. That was the Vegas Golden Knights when Mitch Marner departed town.
Yes.
Like there haven't really been any acrimonious departures this year that I can really think of. Like it was just such a bad year that I think there's been so much change within the organization. I don't know if really fans are focused on any one team in particular. If Morgan Riley ends up getting moved, you'll probably zero in on that. Not from an acrimonious perspective, a guy that has had a tremendous career in Toronto, but he hasn't been moved yet. I think, the Florida Panthers are always a team that garners some level of interest here in Toronto just because of the playoff rivalries recently. Sergei Bobrovsky coming to Toronto. So that'll be obviously a big day for him. I guess it would be Florida. Like, I'm looking forward to Florida just from Sergei Bobrovsky's perspective. Whenever Bradley Marchand rolls through town, he usually has something very interesting to say. So I look forward to that. I probably Florida, but there's not really any one team that you're all too hot and bothered about. Just because I think everything went so poorly last year, and there's been so much change. So if I had to pick one, I'd say Florida.
Okay. The Anaheim Ducks, Davey, here we are. It's Tuesday. Are they matching?
I'm not convinced they will. Now, I'm not going to say that I have any insight on this. I haven't talked to anybody within the Ducks, but I'm not convinced that they will. You never want to lose control of your organization by means of a competitor doing it to you the way the Philadelphia Flyers have. And I think if you're the Ducks, the way things are going right now, you can get creative with those 4 first-round picks where it may not be complete doom and gloom if you lose a Leo Carlsson, who I think is a very good player, but I'm not sure will ever live up to the $18 million a year over the duration of those 5 years. Maybe not till the end of that contract. It's an overpay. It just is. I'm sorry. For a guy who's never had 30 goals, never had 70 points, yes, he's a number 1 center. Yes, he takes on a lot of heavy minutes against other teams' top players. But that's an overpay. And I'm not convinced that Philadelphia won't feel the same if they get him on board. I get their play is that they need a number 1 center. The only way you get those guys is you typically have to draft them, but they've got too good of a team to probably end up in a position where they'll ever have a chance to draft one. And so I think they look at it and say the 4 first-round picks are irrelevant to us. If we can get that guy that kind of completes what we're trying to build, even though he's overpaid, it works. But just, you lose your cap structure in Anaheim, the way in which you do business, the amount of upfront money as well. That is onerous for any team. So look, they might match it, but I'm not convinced that they will at this point, just because, I think you can get creative with those 4 firsts, package them, go out and look for somebody else who's looking for a change of scenery, for whom this team, maybe 2 first-round picks would look really enticing. So I don't have a good read. I think Utah will match Barrett Hayton. I would be surprised if they don't. But I honestly have no reading on this Carlsson situation right now. I think you could build just as good a case to not match it as you can for matching it.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is whoever gets them, the Ducks now, because they got Minchikov, they got Gauthier, still yet to be signed. They're going to have to probably move some things around. And if Anaheim doesn't match and Philly gets them, then Philly suddenly has $11 million in cap space, and they've got to sign Zegras and Drysdale. So they'll have to make some moves because they ain't getting those guys at $5.5 million average either. So
no.
There's going to be ramifications regardless of who gets it.
Yeah, big time. I mean, there already have been with the Ducks. What Pavel Mintyukov ended up signing for was way more than they were interested in paying him. Probably $2.5 to $3 million more, but there was the threat of another offer sheet for Mintyukov after the Ducks had been put really between a rock and a hard place. So that ended up costing them more money. So there already have been ramifications for the Ducks. And you're right. If Philadelphia ends up with Leo Carlsson, they'll have to make moves. It's like we were talking about the other day, like to an extent, I feel like this is mutually assured destruction on both ends. And that's why offer sheets of this nature, I'm typically just not that big of a fan of, because I don't like to be in the business of overpaying people. You know, you could have gotten a deal done. And I think Anaheim's, I guess, reluctance would be the word I would use to negotiate proactively with their young players came back to bite them. You know, instead of squeezing him to try to get him at 10, let's get him locked in at like 13 and a half or 14, and you at long term, you probably could have got a deal done there.
Yes.
But they didn't. And they didn't believe the threat was real. And then for Pat Verbeek to come out and say, well, we're going to match anything that comes our way. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Now, if you don't, your fans are like, what the heck's going on? 2, you kind of dare the other GM to be like, is that right? Tough guy, match this. And I think that's what ultimately ended up happening there. But look, I've talked about, I've heard from other scenarios in Anaheim in recent times where they've just grinded on guys. And then in McTavish's case, he ends up getting moved along. In Zegras' case, he ends up getting moved along. Troy Terry's case, I was told it was a bit of a surprise that they ultimately came to 7x7 after grinding over months and months and months. And then it was like, well, what was the point of that then? And so you don't want to overpay like role players. Absolutely not. But you shouldn't mind overpaying elite level young players by $1 million or $2 million.
Yeah.
But not $5 million, $6 million a year. That's where the problem comes.
Yeah, no, that is totally fair. Dave A. McCarthy joins us here on Sports 1440. Davey, I don't know if you're a tennis fan or not, man, but Djokovic and the young Canadian, they're in the fifth set. It's now going to a 6-6. I mean, an unreal match. We got it going on in the studio here, and I would love to see it if Felix could somehow pull off the victory. This has been an epic battle against obviously one of the all-time greats in tennis. So as a sports fan, man, I love seeing all the different things that are they're going on right now. The other offer sheet, and very quietly, because it's not a huge deal, but it was a strategic offer sheet by New Jersey Devils at 4.775 to offer Barrett Hayton. Now they have to decide by tomorrow. What do you think they do? And I know it isn't Leo Carlsson ramifications, but hell, I'm Barrett Hayton. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, like I think that's reasonably fair market value for Barrett Hayton. The way salaries have gone with the salary cap going up. Guy's 26 years of age. He had 25 points last year. Not his best year. The year prior, he had 20 goals and 46 points. You know, he can play center. You know, that's probably costing you $4 and change these days. It's a 1-year deal, so it's not entirely onerous from a term standpoint. I think Utah probably matches that. They've got a little bit of cap space left right now. And so, you know, I don't think it's something that would cripple them. And I still think they like the player. Yes, their hands are now bound behind their back. If they match, they can't trade him, and then it walks them right to free agency. All right, okay. But you know what? I don't think they're ready to sign Barrett Hayton to a long-term deal right at this moment to begin with, because I still think there's a degree of uncertainty as to what he really is at this point. So can you live with Barrett Hayton at $4 and change for 1 year? And maybe he has a great year, and by the trade deadline, you're like, man, this guy's cooking now, and okay, we've seen enough, and now we're confident and we'll sign him to a longer-term deal. Yeah, I could see that happening too. Or if not, and he middles along, then you let him go to free agency, and what have you really lost at that point when you're letting a guy go who's 27 years old and you haven't really seen all that much. So yeah, I don't think it's something that if I was Bill Armstrong, I would match that. That one reminds me a little bit different because there's not a lot of term involved, but kind of reminds me of the Sebastian Aho offer sheet that the Montreal Canadiens and Marc Bergevin extended back in 2019. That basically just helped Carolina get their business done at the time. And the Canes should be sending Marc Bergevin Christmas cards in perpetuity, just as I think, quite honestly, Billy Armstrong should send one to Sonny Meta. I would match that. I think you're silly if you lose that guy at that price for a year. And if he ends up walking out the door in free agency, well, that means you were really never confident enough in him to sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah, no, that is very valid. And I look at now we still have some names out there, and a lot of people still think there's some other trades that come here, Dave. The teams are just kind of winding down and seeing what happens. You got the offer sheets, but we also have a lot of arbitration cases, and usually the most of them get signed. And there's still some free agents. But I'll say this, I haven't heard a peep anywhere about Anthony Mantha. It's wild.
No. Yeah, I am surprised. His playoff numbers are not great, but he had a really good regular season last year in Pittsburgh, and he's a big guy. Were his playoff numbers not great just simply because, Pittsburgh squeezed every last juice out of that stone last year, and by the time they got into the playoffs, they just basically didn't have anything left? That's possible. If you put Anthony Mantha in a different situation, surrounded by a better team, could he be a really effective guy? Could he be like an Ivan Barbashev in Las Vegas a number of years ago when they brought him in? Of that nature, maybe. But I think some teams are leery with his playoff production at this point. So, he might not get a long-term deal at this point. I'm surprised that Patty Kane hasn't been signed yet. But look, I know Detroit wants to keep him. He might be looking at Detroit and saying, at this point in my career, is it really about the money, or is it, if I'm going to continue to play, have a chance to win? I think it's probably more the latter. The heck is Detroit done? Seriously, they haven't really done anything of consequence that would inspire me to think that they're a team close to contending for a playoff spot, let alone a Stanley Cup. And so if I'm Patrick Kane, I'm looking at that and saying, do I want to just step right back in there, or do I want to go to a different organization where I feel like I've got a better chance to contend? So I think that's what he's contending with right now in his mind. So we'll see. I think there's a couple of valuable players there in Mantha and Kane who had good years last year. Different situations. Mantha probably looking for term, Kane looking for situation. And they just haven't quite found what suits them best yet. But let's not confuse ourselves. They'll find a situation that works for them, in due time. It's just there's a lot of questions, I think, among a number of teams right now where it's just not the right time for them to decide.
Yeah. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL Network joins us. One last one for you, Dave. I saw an article that kind of surprised. There's currently 10 captain vacancies in the National Hockey League because there's been a lot of players, Brady Tkachuk, Anders Lee, who have moved on from their teams.
Boone
right?
Jenner.
Boone Jenner. Nick Foligno left last year in Chicago. Anze Kopitar, who we had in studio last week. Bo Horvat potentially there. So you look at him I look at Celebrini, and I think probably he's going to be the guy in San Jose. But a lot of people are like, oh, Schaefer and the Islanders. And I'm like, I think I might go Bo Horvat. Who would you do if you're the Islanders?
Oh man, that is a really difficult one. Because I do think Matthew Schaefer will be the captain of the New York Islanders at some point. I love everything about that kid. Just to be straight up. Like I've met the guy 3 times in my life. Once a year ago at a golf tournament, the second time when they were in town late in the regular season, and then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday at a event that he was at. And the third time, like 2 weeks ago, he remembers my name. Huh. Kid's 18 years old. It's the third time he met me. I love everything about that kid. The only reason why I wouldn't make him the captain at this point is just because I'm an old school guy, and I wonder, does he even really need that burden right now?
Yes.
Right? Like, he probably doesn't need it right now. Just let him be him, not have to worry about the ups and the downs of the team the same way that the captain does. Bo Horvat's much better positioned to handle that right now. And then make Matt Schaefer an A. And then when Bo Horvat, either moves along or you get to a position where it's time to pass the torch, then you do it. The kid is he's played a full season in the NHL. He's set more records than I had the ability to list in a recent piece that I did about him on NHL.com. The guy's got his post-playing media career down already as a special correspondent on the draft, conducting walk and talk. And he's still 2 months away from turning 19. It's insane. So my point being is that, not that I don't think he can handle it, but does he need it? Probably not. And I don't think that's an indictment on him at all. So yes, Matt Schaefer will be the captain of the New York Islanders, but give him 3 or 4 years just to continue to be himself under Bo Horvat. And then, once he gets to 23, 24 years of age, I think his time will come.
Okay. Davey, have yourself an awesome day, my man. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, buddy. See you.
There you go. That's Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Do you have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 five-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Kids dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks.
That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price? Give me your credit card for a test drive? What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Brutal. Felix loses in a tiebreaker in the fifth set to Djokovic. And man, the ageless wonder, what a performance. Now he's got to take on Sinner, but man, if you're Felix, that one hurts. He's playing so great, got to the tiebreaker and just a few unforced errors that hitting the ball into the net kind of cost him. So, man, but if you're a tennis fan, that was an unbelievable match. Unbelievable match. 5-setter over 5 hours. And like you talk about tennis and just like accuracy, it's one of the rare sports. You got to be able to have a lot of quick twitch muscles to crush serves and then return the serves, but then you got to have the cardio to go 5 hours sometimes. It's wild. They're unique in that way. And it's one-on-one, mano-a-mano, woman-o-woman-o. I know there's doubles, but come on. You look at those games when it's 1v1, there's no one else out there. It's just you and your opponent. It's awesome theater, man. Like, I love high-level tennis. I did get to go to the U.S. Open once. Me and my buddy, good-looking boy, we went, when was that? Like back in 2012? I think it was. And now it was hot. That was the other thing. I could not believe it, how muggy it is in New York in late August. But it was, honestly, I loved it. I would highly recommend it. How much fun we had. I like the games are way better than I thought, to be honest. And just, I've watched tennis live. I've never watched it live before. I watched it on TV and I respected it, but watching it live was awesome. So it is, if you could go, and honestly, the tickets weren't even that expensive. Now I'm sure it's 13, 14 years ago, so I'm guessing it's probably way more. But comparatively, like it was a major event, and my ticket wasn't that grossly more expensive than I would have thought it would be. I was actually quite surprised at what the ticket price was. And we went to the night, on the main court. And the thing is, if you've ever been there, man, like you should see there's so many courts. It's Deck, you've never been to a big tennis event, have you?
I haven't, no. Me and my mom have always wanted to do a trip out to Wimbledon or something like that, but never made it out. Love tennis, would love to go. I think Wimbledon would be, I think the gentleman's final at Wimbledon would be my number one choice for a sports viewing experience.
Yeah, it's probably fair. I could see why. Pretty big one for sure. Hey, Gregor, you're bang on. Every Flames Nation clip I see is them talking about the Oilers, especially with Rhett Warner. Yeah, he from MTR. He definitely seems to. He can't get over the Oilers. He just can't. They're in his kitchen, rattling his pots and pans on literally a weekly basis. You can't deny it. It's right there. It always is. So it's good. Now, one other thing, this past Saturday, there was an epic rugby match between Canada and Spain. 42-42 at Clark Stadium. Unbelievable. Back and forth the entire game. It was awesome. And I know we sent some people, courtesy of Rugby Canada, to that game. And we got notes from both the winners saying, man, that was unreal. So do you want to go see Canada? And this weekend, it's actually a double dip. Your ticket will get you to both games because there's a game at 2:45 between Portugal and Tonga. And these are both, top 22 ranked countries in the world. And then you've got Portugal and Canada later. So Spain and Tonga first, Canada and Portugal. Now, you don't have to go to both, but if you wanted to say, maybe I want to catch the second half of the first game and then stick around, have a beverage, and get ready for the grand finale at night, it's this Saturday at Clark. And we got a few sets of tickets if you want to go. 833-401-1440. Just text in rugby with your name and your email address. All right? And we'll pick a few winners. Coming up in the final 2 hours of the program today, we're going to get some stats of the day. We're going to talk a little NHL, some NBA. Also got spec and DVD. Coming up, can the Jays get a hit? God, can they score a run? One run in their last 3 games. Brutal. I'll tell you that. Brutal. So we'll get to all that and more. But first, we're going to get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Not only do they specialize in vehicles, best selection going, over 15,000 to choose from. They also, they invest in the community. How about to the tune of over $27 million that they have given back? So great community-minded spirit. GoAuto.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Wimbledon action is Novak Djokovic just completing his match with Felix Auger-Aliassime, winning in 5 sets, 10-4 in the 5th set tiebreak. Earlier today was Jannik Sinner over Jan-Lennard Struff in straight sets, and on the women's side, it was Karolina Mukova over Naomi Osaka in straight sets, while Coco Gauff needed 3 to get by Jessica Pegula. In the FIFA World Cup, it was Argentina 3-2 over Egypt earlier today. Right now, in extra time, Switzerland and Colombia still tied at 0-0. And MLB final from earlier in game 1 of their doubleheader saw the Brewers over the Cards 4-3. Coming up in about 40 minutes time, you will see the Cubs and the Orioles, as well as the A's and the Tigers, and the Jays also in action, of course, out in San Francisco. 7:45 first pitch, Miles on the bump, and you can, of course, listen on Sports 1440 AM dial only. Elsewhere in the sporting world in the NBA, Kyle Lowry did retire as a Raptor today after signing a one-day contract, while Donovan Mitchell signed his 4-year, $273 million extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanTorque brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock as we roll through. Hope you're having a lovely day. Tough loss for Felix, man. Brutal. But Jokovic, still at his age, dialing back another great performance. Now he's obviously going to take on the number 1 player in the world in Sinner, and who knows what can happen. It would be monumental. Like, Felix came in as a number 3 ranked player in Wimbledon. He played great. Just in the tiebreak, unfortunately, couldn't get it done. And God, that'd be heartbreaking, man. That would be heartbreaking, I think. Welcome back. Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where it is your one-stop shop: casino, lottery, instance, live dealer, and, of course, sports. Check it out. Each day, the Jason Gregor Show, we got some special bests for you. You got a little early Elks action. You got some, tonight we got a little MLB lovers for you, and slump busters. The Blue Jays, of course. Who else could it be? So get in at playalberta.ca. We got a lot of texts to get to. Is 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Also, we're gonna have a special edition, and we're gonna get to it in a second. But it's going to be our stats of the day, very double E centric, as they get set to take on the Ottawa Red Blacks on Thursday. So let's get to that right now. Our stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction, and they are hiring. So you can go to Indeed.com and check out All Star Construction. Whether you're a gas pipe technician, backhoe operator, hydrovac operator, or a construction laborer, all different jobs. Apply today, Indeed.com, and look up All Star Construction. So some stats of the day for you. So heading into it, the Elks categories that they're near the top, leading the CFL in yards per rush as a team at 6.2. They've only allowed 3 sacks, best in the CFL. Their opponent's pass efficiency is the lowest in the league. Their opponent TD drive percentage also the lowest in the league. They're not giving up a lot of touchdowns, giving up the fewest touchdowns per drive this year. Number 2 ranked defense in the league. Of course, Justin Rankin is still averaging over 100 yards rushing per game as he comes in leading the league in rushing yards with 406 after a rather slow performance with only 19 yards rushing against the BC line. So he'll be looking to get back on track. He's also going to be looking to want to limit the fumbles for him. He also has 254 receiving yards, which puts him well on pace to be over 1,000. He's on pace to be the first ever 1,000 player in CFL history. It's pretty damn impressive, man. Really impressive. And he's on pace for over like 1,800 yards rushing. And if he does that, if he maintains his pace, he would shatter the CFL record for yards from scrimmage, which is 2,414, set by Mike Pringle twice, oddly enough. 2 years he did it, exact same yards, 2,414. Did you know that on Thursday, it will be regular season game 1,289 for the green and gold. Their record all time against Ottawa franchises, 51-30 losses, 2 ties. At home, they're 31-11 all time. And if you're going to the games, the Elks have won 4 consecutive games when leading at the half, including 2 this season, Winnipeg and Ottawa. They've won 5 consecutive games when leading after 3 quarters, Winnipeg and Montreal and Ottawa this year. They haven't given up a lead in the 4th quarter. When Justin Rankin runs for 100 yards, pretty good chance. They've won 7 consecutive games when he has 100 yards rushing. Of course, this year against his first 3 games of the season. And then you go back to 25, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Ottawa, and then all the way back to Calgary in 2024. So when he rushes for 100, they are pretty damn good. The Austin Mack, an Elks best, 8 catches for 141 yards last week for him. And also, how about Vinny Blanchard? Very quietly, a perfect 9 for 9 on the season in field goals. He has hit 10 in a row dating back to last season. So he is off to a very good start. The Jays, we've talked about their stats. Capital U, capital G, capital L, capital Y. Ugly for the offense of the Toronto Blue Jays. They have hit the skids big time. They can't score. They can't hit. It is it's getting rather ugly, I would say. They're not completely out of it, but if they don't wake up soon, they could be in a little bit of trouble here. So, you look at it. Now, last Wednesday against the Mets, they exploded for 9 runs. But since then, they scored 2, then were shut out, and lost. And in their last 3 games, they've been outscored 25-1 in a 3-game span. 25-1. Awful. So they got the Giants tonight, late game. Then they have an afternoon game tomorrow against San Fran. Then they'll have a day off on Thursday, and then they're taking on the Padres as they continue the road trip leading into the All-Star break. Then they'll have the All-Star break, which, of course, Home Run Derby is next Monday. A week tonight will be the 96th All-Star game. Vladimir Guerrero was voted in, but has elected to decline because he wants to rest his injured back. And honestly, let's be completely honest. There's other guys more deserving who should be there. So I actually respect Vladdy to say, hey, thanks, but I'm not going. And then the Jays, so we'll see what they can do against the Padres. And then they come back. They got home against the White Sox. How about the White Sox, man? They are rolling right now. Absolutely rolling. So I just want to do a little green and gold stats of the day today as they get set to take on Ottawa on Thursday. As we mentioned, only one other injury from last week. Pace, another linebacker. God, their linebackers are just getting crushed. Pace did not practice today. Highly. He's not officially out, but I view him as out for Thursday's game. That's the stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction. A lot of text coming in. Hey, Greg's, I think Line A's 1-2-dimensional. I'd stay away from him. On another note, I did not watch the Eskies game during the recent dark ages. Being a fan since the Knothole game to start in the 80s. This offseason, though, I signed up for a pair of season seats. Even though I'm on crutches after 2 hip surgeries, I'm going to share tickets with family and donate some to the Boys and Girls Club, hoping to be in attendance, but watching more games that got me back on from Ogie Bear. I like it. Well, hey, good luck with the hip surgeries, man. Hopefully you'll be moving and shaking, dancing around the dance floor quickly. I know a lot of people have had the hip surgeries and works out quite well for them. Now, we asked a question earlier about when the schedule comes out next Thursday, what's the one game, and exclude season opener, it's easy, but what's the one opponent you look to say, okay, when are they playing them? And we got a lot of options here from listeners. Gregor, it's the Panthers for sure. I hate them. Flames suck though, so who cares about them? Hey, boys, at the moment, it is probably Vegas for sure. I'm going Sharks, Celebrini. Oh, that's fair. You're not worried about the Sharks. You're just excited to see Celebrini. Hey, Greg, real Oilers fans are looking at the Calgary game first when we could beat the crap out of them. Okay, that's valid, right? That's totally fair. I can understand why you'd say, hey, I want to see the team that I'm confident we're going to beat. Boys, I'm checking the schedule to find a friendly weekend game in November to come to Edmonton and hit the water park with the kids. Christmas shop, catch a game. Adam from Saskatoon. Well, hey, I get it, right? Road trip. And I'm sure, though, Adam, there's probably, if I said, well, who's a list of teams that you hope are in town for that, right? Hey, guys, I look forward to the Flames because I'm 50 and I watched every game in the 80s growing up. So that rivalry is etched into my core. From Delta Golf. Okay, I get it. Guys, Tampa, Colorado, Dallas. I love to watch the star power. Comes in from Spaghetti. Hey, boys, I'm still going to see when the Flames games are, but goddamn, give me that first Florida game with the Kachucks. Should be some good drama from Honest Andy. Yeah, I think a lot of people might be saying that this year. Like, I'll be curious to see kind of how it goes for Florida this year. I think a lot of people are expecting them to have some shenanigans at times in their game. Hey, boys, for me, it's definitely San Jose because I want to see how Nurse plays against his buddies. Leaf games are always good, and it'll be extra exciting with Babcock. On another note, I think the Oilers should sign Bunting. They need a player that attracts the flies. Missed someone like that since Perry. Give someone like Teams Florida to run around and chase. Interesting. Yeah, there's another guy who hasn't signed. Now, I wonder, is Bunting going to be a player that teams look at and say, yeah, I like him, but maybe I don't like him at $5 million. And even with the increased cap space, there are going to be some teams. Like he scored 14 goals last year. He had 19 the year before that. He had 19 the year before that, 23, 23. So fairly consistent, but kind of like 23, 23, 19, 19, 14. So a little bit of a decline. Maybe that comes into it here. But, you know, you look at his point total, 63 to 49 to 55, 38, and then 33. So a little bit of decline there too. But yeah, I think Bunting at his age, he'll turn 31 before the season begins. I could see teams being interested in him for sure. And we'll kind of see where that goes. Bunting, I hadn't really thought about it, but I don't mind it. He didn't not play in Toronto when Babcock was there, so he has no connection to him, right? He joined Toronto in 22 and 23. Not that everybody has to have a connection to Babcock or not. Like, let's be honest, right? I do know, hey, some guys are not going to sign there. That's just a fact. If they have different options, that's okay. Some will, some won't. Totally fine. But Bunting, yeah, I don't mind him. I don't view him, though, as a shooter. I like the pest angle, though. I'll get you that. But I think right now, the Oilers, if there's one thing that they could upgrade, it would be a shooter. Hard to find. And that's why it might not be somebody that you have to get in the offseason. Maybe it's someone that happens during the season, close to the trade deadline. I could easily see that happen. We'll come back and, hey, man, big trades. There's been a lot of them this offseason. We'll go to one that's a little unexpected, and we'll try to make sense of a trade that on paper doesn't seem to make any sense. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Kickoff is coming July 9th. Elks, Red Blacks at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Salute to Service presented by YEG Plus. Help us celebrate the heroes and first responders who make our communities great. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanTorque brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Boxing Week is back at the Brick. Don't wait until winter. Get blowout pricing now. Save 50% off sofas when you buy the matching piece. Save up to 25% off bedroom and dining, and save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get free local delivery when you use your Flexity card. And buy more, save more. Up to $500 off select major appliances. Don't miss the return of Boxing Week, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca attempt today.
Hi, Edmonton. With summer adventures calling, there's no better way to answer than from behind the wheel of your Subaru WRX. The WRX delivers turbocharged performance, confidence-inspiring Subaru all-wheel drive, and the kind of driving excitement that makes you look for excuses to hit the road. Summer won't last forever, but the memories will. So make sure you give yourself something to remember. Visit your local Subaru dealer today and test drive the WRX yourself. Welcome to Uncommon.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Rent it, run it, get it serviced. Japa Equipment Rentals have you covered from their shop to your job site. Alberta's construction pros have counted on Japa for rentals and service since 1972. JapaMachinery.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on a Tuesday afternoon, and we are about, depending on how much extra time they get. But Colombia, Switzerland. Could we see the first match in the 16s that requires penalty kicks to decide the winner? Haven't had one yet. And unless one of these teams scores, we will. Switzerland and Colombia both knotted up at 0. Argentina beat Egypt, overcoming a 2-0 deficit in the final 11 minutes of regulation and 3 minutes of extra time. They scored 3 goals, basically from the 79th minute to the 93rd minute to come back and win. Of course, Belgium spanked USA late last night, 4-1. Spain got by Portugal, kind of a snooze fest, 1-0 yesterday. Yeah, that England-Mexico game was phenomenal. Brazil-Norway, entertaining. Canada-Morocco was really good in the first half. Second half, it kind of just, a little bit of a slow death for Canada. And then France, Paraguay, that had a physical game, had a politician in Paraguay making some of the most inane comments I've seen, and then doubling down on it later. What a dummy. Not necessarily the smartest lad in that one. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get penalty kicks. We do know France, Morocco goes Thursday. Spain and Belgium is Friday. Norway and England is Saturday, and then Argentina also on Saturday will take on whoever wins between Colombia and Switzerland. And then when you get to the semifinals, it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday will be the winner of France, Morocco, and Spain and Belgium, and then the semifinal on the Wednesday with the final next Saturday. So should be entertaining. Let's get to our. We're going to talk a little basketball now, as we get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy. LegacyHeating.ca. And this offseason's had some wild offer sheets, some big names leaving town, and also some significant trades. Maybe none bigger and maybe none more head-scratching than the Boston Celtics trade. Or was it? But you trade Jaylen Brown. Yeah, you get a few firsts and some seconds. You also get Paul George at his contract. Justin Quinn joins us from the Celtics Wire. Justin, what do you make of this trade? Like, why do the Celtics feel like this was the time to get rid of Jaylen Brown? Was he that much of a distraction?
So that's the question that everyone wants an answer to, and I'm not entirely sure we're ever going to get a complete answer to it, but the most clear thing that we can say is that there is a tendency in the NBA right now for teams not to want to have more than 2 players on the roster making a supermax, a 35% deal. There are other factors going into it. You've heard about the analytics stuff. It's probably a little bit distorted for clickiness. You've heard about the fear of the disease of more with Jaylen after running the team for a season. There are a lot of different factors. Brad Stevens in the presser addressing this yesterday did talk about some of these things. He downplayed the analytics. But one thing that kept coming up was optionality. If I hear that word again, I'm probably going to lose my mind. But there is some truth to it because Paul George, the player coming back, makes roughly the same amount of salary. But on top of that, he also makes 1 year less salary. So next season, Hoops Hype's Yossi Goslin has spoken with us over on our podcast on Celtics Wire. Havlicek stole the pod about how the Celtics will be in a position where they can really go all in to spend the season after this upcoming season. And I think he's right. This would give them more flexibility to go all in with players that I think fit their vision better. There is some concern that Jaylen spends a little too much time on the ball when he should be sharing it with Jaylen more. So there's a lot of reasons going into this.
Okay. So what about Paul George? Like, what do they think he's got left?
Well, the big question that I think is rankling Celtics fans more than anything else about this trade, besides the fact that they did it pretty quickly and did not really do their due diligence, in my opinion, or maybe they did, we don't actually know what happens, but it was a very hasty trade. They believe for whatever reason that they needed to do it. Coming back in that, of course, is Paul George. He is fresh in the minds of Celtics fans because not only are they division rivals, but this is the team that kicked the Celtics out of the postseason most recently. And George was very good in that. Now, a lot of people are saying he missed a large chunk of the season near the end of the season. And perhaps the reason why he missed that also helped boost his performance as well. But I don't envision him having a particularly large role with the Celtics. He might start and maybe play like around 25 minutes a night. And he'll probably sit up back-to-backs and rest a lot because, again, he's 36 years old. I think he still has meaningful contributions to winning basketball left in him, but he is not going to be making an all-star team. He is not even going to be threatening an all-star team. His defense is probably going to be a little bit slower than we would like to see. But generally speaking, the three-point shooting is still going to be there. The knowledge is still going to be there. He will be a meaningful contributor, but the value obviously is not there, which is what is bothering people in this trade.
So you look at the Celtics, and they've obviously been highly competitive for many years. And, the Knicks finally won, and they did it, in really convincing fashion. Like, what a dominant run by the Knicks in the playoffs. And, Brown went to the 76ers who, when Embiid's in the lineup, they're good. The problem is he's only in the lineup half the time, unfortunately, for him. But, like, if you look at Boston, I'm not going to say it's a rebuild year by any stretch, but, like, is this just a retool? Do you still think, like, are they good enough to be a playoff team and maybe win a round? Kind of, when you look at their team on paper right now, where do you see the Celtics in the East?
Okay, so that's the hard thing. We actually just went through this on our last episode, and this was actually an incredibly challenging exercise because most of the teams in the East are trying to play well. That has a lot to do with lottery reform. It no longer pays to be one of the worst teams, and in fact, it actually hurts you if you are one of the worst teams. So right now, really only the Nets and I can't remember the other team, Washington Wizards, I guess you could say, are teams that are not really trying to go for it right now. You could make a case for almost the entire rest of the East. I would say somewhere between 5th and 8th is where I would put the Celtics now. Though I have to point out, I had the Celtics winning 46 wins and being around the same range last season, so we could be surprised.
What do you make of Kawhi Leonard back to Toronto?
I think it's a really good short-term move for them. It puts them in a position where they get the kind of ability, if not availability, that will have them in the running to contend. They just need to arrive at the end of the season with a healthy Kawhi and hopefully not a suspended Kawhi. The league does not typically punish the players historically in the situation that I'm alluding to with the whole Aspire situation in the Clippers. But it does put the Raptors, I think, in a position where they can threaten to come out of the East. I don't know that they'll have what it takes to win the title, but I would have said the same thing about the Knicks last season too. The new parity era of the NBA is making our job a lot harder, frankly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's, you know what, health is obviously going to play a factor, and then you need guys. Like, I look at the Knicks, though, man, and when I look at their roster, I'm like, I see no reason why they aren't the clear favorite when the season begins next year in the Eastern Conference.
Don't disagree.
Yeah, like they're just that good. What about LeBron? Where do you think he goes? And obviously the guy can still play, but like, do you think a team he picks, because it sounds like it's Miami or Cleveland, that like two places he's been before, do you think either one's a better fit?
I think that if he was looking for playing time stats, burnishing his individual resume, that the Heat would be the place to go, because they are fairly devoid of talent after Bam and Giannis. I mean, they still have some good players, but they're nobody you expect to make an All-NBA team, for example, or even maybe an All-Star. As far as the Cavs, I think they would be much better positioned to make a serious run at the title. I still have them about where they finished last year, somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Okay. We're joined by Justin Quinn from the Celtics Wire. And how did Celtics fans overall react to this trade? Like, I know that there's always going to be initial reaction of, the sky's falling all the time. But now that they've had some time to absorb it, what's the reaction in Boston for Brown going?
Well, again, as I alluded to earlier, there was a good degree of acceptance. The whole CBA cap situation, second apron stuff, that's been telegraphed for a while. I mean, the Celtics under Whit Grauspec were instrumental in helping, being one of the teams that put that into place. So none of this is like that surprising, but I don't think that people really expected that Brown would be traded just yet. I think people expected that they would try to play another season out, play them both healthy again one more time, add some stuff around the margin that can then be folded into new trades in the future, maybe for, say, like a bigger star comes available. But that's obviously not what happened. Many fans were upset about who it was, but I think now it's kind of changed into either acceptance and understanding that this is just a new reality of the CBA environment we're in, with a good, healthy dash of, we really like that guy. He was a good person. Maybe there were some warts, but he was our guy, and we're mad that you didn't get more for him, even without the knowledge that, again, we're probably never going to learn fully exactly what happened, but we got what we got.
Okay. One last one for you, Justin. If you look at the NBA and there's talk, the aprons and everything like that, because there's been, I think, a fairly large discrepancy some years of, like, you could say 10 teams got no chance. Do you think we're going to see teams now with this apron and everything, like, the talent's still there, it's just going to be spread out across the league more? And do you think this will be like, it'll be more parity? Is that better or worse for the NBA?
Well, it depends on what kind of NBA you like. I think for older persons like myself, and I don't want to presume you, but same haircut, the general sense I get from people our age, 30s to 50s on, I think those people tend to value the connection with the team more so than the player, right? younger NBA fans, at least as I understand it, tend to follow players more and love transactions almost as much as they love the games themselves, maybe even more. That is going to be great for them because the way that the whole parity era is set up, you only have a 2 or 3 year window realistically, unless you are Steve Ballmer. And even he can't seem to help himself. We'll see if that's the truth or not, if that report ever comes out. But what that ends up doing is causing teams to start getting hit with those second apron penalties, which are really significant.
Yeah.
And the owners get to say, well, hey, we are not going to go all that crazy spending into the cap for very long, saving them some money conveniently. So they never have to say, oh, we're tearing this down because of financial reasons. We're doing it because of the rules. And it's not a lie. The rules are very, very intense in how they penalize team building possibilities. I won't go into them here, but just trust me on this. It's very hard to keep and build a contender once you hit those second apron penalties. Yeah. So teams are going to load up on whatever talent they can get that is cheap and, shall we say, stable in terms of fitting into an organization that isn't going to get uppity if you aren't necessarily like competing for a title right now. That means that there is going to be a lot more teams that decide, oh, well, in our division, so-and-so just got injured or so-and-so is pissed off about his situation. Let's push in the chips at the trade deadline and go all in. And you will see cycles of 2 or 3 teams in each conference doing that every year, and 2 or 3 teams pushing right back out after having been in for too long. And unfortunately for Celtics fans, they got to be one of the very first vanguard teams dealing with this.
Awesome, Justin. Should be an interesting offseason to see where LeBron goes and some other possible trades. We appreciate your time. Enjoy the offseason.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. That's Justin Quinn from the Celtics Wire. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. Also, would you like to go to the Elks-Lions game? Doesn't look like rain quote will be required. It's going to be a nice night. You want to take the kids? Maybe somebody who hasn't been to a green and gold game in the last 2 years. But you want to go. We got a 4-pack of tickets, courtesy of Elks Nation. Go to the game. 833-401-1440. We need your name and your email. And make sure that 100% you can use the 4-pack of tickets for Thursday night's game. 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And for the first time in the round of 16, we are going to penalty kicks to decide who moves on to the quarterfinal, Colombia or Switzerland.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas, just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Elite hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
'44. We are into penalties. Colombia and Switzerland. They each scored on their first one. Colombia just hit the crossbar moments ago. Oh, man, it was crossbar and almost looked like it went straight down and in, but looks like it stayed out right on the goal line. Ooh, it is. I will say, the kicks you get to the playoff, man, like they take their time. There's a lot of drama and build up to it. It is, it's fun, man. It's exciting. You have the whole stadium. Everybody's on their feet, and they are nervous. It's good. Let's get to 5 questions. 5 questions. Brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. That's what they do. And also, big shout out to The Brick as they hosted another very successful brick tournament here at West Edmonton Mall. Minnesota was the big winner. Thanks to everybody involved at The Brick. Here is Declan Kruger. 5 questions.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1. Which Oiler or Oilers currently under contract will be the odd men out once the roster is set?
Well, I look at the defense, and they've currently got 8 D-men signed. They're not carrying 8 D-men, and unless somebody's injured. So, Bouchard, Wallman, Murphy, Ekholm, Shea, those 5 are locks. Makhamadulin, I think, is a lock to be on the roster. So that leaves Spencer and Stastny, not Spencer and Stastny. He's the same guy. Stastny and Emberson. So for me, it'd be Stastny. Emerson's a right shot. I think he has more of a defined role in the one thing that he does. Whereas I'm just not sure, what does Stastny bring? Doesn't bring him much offense. He's not offensive minded. He's not a puck mover. Not a great skater. He's not big. He's not a dynamic penalty killer. So I'm not really sure what's his element. So I'm going to say he's there. And he would be the outside looking in on the back end for me. Up front is I think it's going to be one of the Jays. Now, I think Jones will be down, but then there's Janmark and Joseph. Because I think Szymanski and Howard are going to be here to start the year. We'll see if they last, but I think it's Joseph or Janmark.
Question number 2. Belgium lashed the USA last night in a hate watch that we can all appreciate. That being said, what was your favorite hate watch of all time?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I ever grew up with a hate watch. It's not, I had teams I didn't like. So, but like, I don't know if I'd ever say, oh God, I hate this team so bad, I don't want to watch them. Because usually if I hated them bad, I couldn't pull myself to watching them. I would find out the results and be happy. But like, if I look at, I will say this, when the Patriots lost to the Giants, I was quite excited to say that. I don't like the Giants.
Question number 3.
What about you?
Easily Alabama versus Indiana in this year's college football playoff. 38-3 for Indiana. Come on now. Question number 3. What will Trey Ford's time in Hamilton as the starting quarterback look like for the club?
Ooh, good question. That's a really good question. I should look at who is coming up on Hamilton's schedule. So they got Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan first game, so that's not great. Then they're home to Toronto. It's okay. Then they're in Montreal, and they got they don't really have a great schedule coming up the next few weeks for him. And then they got Saskatchewan and BC again. So you know what? Yeah, not great. I'm gonna say might last 3 games.
And then is it Jake Dolegala, or do they look to like a Jared Dagey on the free agent market?
Yeah, I don't know. At that point, you're just picking
You're just hoping.
Like, I hope I'm wrong. I think losing Bo Levi Mitchell's a big loss for them, and because you're going to have to change your entire strategy and how you approach offensively. I think with Trey Ford, because there's certain things he can't do what Bo Levi Mitchell does. Now, if you game plan properly to get Trey Ford to use his assets, then you have a chance, but that's hard to do.
Question number 4. I think this has been one of the best World Cups that I've ever seen. Granted, a bit of a smaller sample size for me. So that being said, what was the best playoffs, the best set of playoffs, the best tournament, the best event, etc.? What was the best you've ever seen?
Well, and this probably goes back to your youth when I think you're so much more emotionally engaged. The 1987 Canada Cup. That was, I was a young teenager, but still, man, like every game was 6-5, and there was a little bit of fear still coming out of Russia and everything that they surrounded them with at that time. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was I wasn't scared of Russia, but there was just you didn't like Russia. And every game was 6-5, and it was electrifying hockey. And so I'd probably have to go with that series tournament. But this FIBA Cup has been unbelievable. But there's so many more games, right? So I would rather go with kind of one matchup that had that final, even leading up to it was good, but the final was the best of 3. I wish they would bring that back. I wish hockey, and I understand, but I wish the gold medal could be a best of 3 in the Olympics. That would be unreal. And I really think if the NHL was smart, they would go back to an off-season tournament, and the final would be a best of 3. Imagine Canada, USA, best of 3. You build up the hype, it'd be unreal.
And question number 5, Kyle Lowry has retired as a Raptor after signing that one-day contract. So who is on your Mount Rushmore of Toronto Raptors?
Go ahead.
Kyle Lowry, easy one, 1-1. I have Kawhi Leonard. I know it was only the one season before. He's obviously back now, but bringing them the championship, what he did in that 2019 season, I have Kawhi. I have Vince Carter for what he meant for Canada basketball. And I have I think it might be a touch underrated one. I don't know if it's always, he's right there in the conversation, but I don't know if he's always the 4th option for people. But I have Chris Bosh for what he did in those early 2000s before he went to the Miami Heat, like perennial all-star, had them relevant as well in the post-Vince Carter era. So those would be my 4.
Yeah, well, the first guy would be Vince Carter. Vince Sandy at his peak was unbelievably exciting and entertaining. There's no doubt. Obviously, Kyle Lowry would go on there. But Kawhi was if I'm going in order, Kawhi probably number 2. He's only there for 1 year, but he was the main leader. And my number 4, I might lead to DeMar DeRozan, which I know is odd because they traded him for Kawhi Leonard. but he was a good enough player to get traded for Kawhi Leonard at the time for the Raptors. So I will go with DeMar DeRozan. So, you know, I don't think Siakam was there long enough.
I thought about it too.
Right.
I think you're right, but I thought about it.
Yeah. So Bosch is a good one. Bosch is a good one for sure. And but yeah, I think those four would be the ones we had to do it. Like some teams are, like, I'm not sure there's a real, like Bosch, maybe that's a fair argument. You go Bosch or DeRozan, fair. But like compared to some other organizations, like it's not that hard of a discussion. Like some other teams, man, like you would sit around at a table for hours debating on who your top four would be. So they don't have like the top three are obvious, and then they're okay, 4 or 5, but that's really it. Like you're not putting Mighty Mouse, you're not putting any of those other guys really in the category. So
no Grievous Vasquez.
No. No. Hey guys, the 72 series, without a doubt, captivating the entire nation. One of those Where Were You events. I doubt there are many students in class and the final game was broadcast. Well, most of the games were broadcast. Kids watched it in school. Bill, they were in school watching it. So I know lots of people talk about it. Obviously, that was before my time, but I know for a lot of people that the 2010 Olympics, for younger generation of fans, the Crosby, the golden goal, it's in Canada. That's definitely going to be a big one for sure. And the fact it was against USA made it even better. So I like that. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Gregor, why do you have Shakir as a lock? He played less games than Emerson and Stastny last season. Well, because he was injured, number one. Number two, he's a young player who is 6'4" and 210 pounds. You think the Oilers are going to put him on waivers and risk him getting claimed on waivers? No chance. Zero. They're not doing it. They believe that they can help develop him. So, yeah, there's no way you're going to expose Mock Medulin to waivers. So that's why, to me, he is a lock to make it. I don't have, for me, I have Emerson all day ahead of Stastny. I actually think Alec Regula could find himself ahead of Stastny. He's bigger. He moves the puck way better. And, he had a whole year off. And really, when he came back last year, it wasn't ready yet. So, waited around, didn't play. When he got to the minors, the biggest thing Regula that you saw was his confidence and his poise with the puck. And in today's NHL, when you're 6'5" and you can make plays with the puck, you're going to get looks. So that's the difference. Like, I could see him pushing ahead of Stastny. Now, both of him and Stastny will require waivers. Right? There's lots of teams that have 8 or 9 defensemen around, so that's not a shock. But, and the Oilers, they might recognize that and maybe try to trade a guy out of camp. But like, I know Stastny's being in the league, and I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority here, but he did nothing for me last year. Nothing where I was like, oh, this guy is, he's played 117 NHL games. And in that time, he's played 128 AHL games. Like, I think he's a tweener right now. I don't think he is, what's his role? What does he bring? You got to bring something. Because he's not bringing you size. He's not bringing you physicality. He's not bringing you offense. He's not an elite skater. So what is he? And that's going to be his challenge. You, to make an NHL roster, I think you have to have something where they look and say, okay, this guy can bring it. Right? So we'll see how that goes. 4:56, quick break. Coming up, Mark Spector will join us here. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to Declan Cougar, Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Now it's sunny out, man. You want to get in there? Maybe you want to drive one of the, get out there and check out a vet that they got. Ooh. Man, I saw a few in the showroom when we did our show there last month. Unbelievable. But this month, employee pricing. You pay what they pay. Some great savings. Check it out, northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Some Wimbledon results from earlier was Novak Djokovic in a 5-setter over the third-seed Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime 10-4 in that fifth-set tiebreak. Jannik Sinner, the number 1 overall seed, also getting by his quarterfinal matchup in straight sets. In the women's singles was Karolina Muchova in straight sets over Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff in 3 over Jessica Pegula. FIFA World Cup finals from today. Argentina over Egypt 3-2. They trailed up until the 78th minute before winning in full time. And Switzerland getting the win over Colombia 4-3 on penalties. MLB action right now. Cubs and the Orioles with a rain delay in the top of the first. Now 1-0. Tigers lead the A's 2-0. Braves lead the Pirates 1-0. And the Nats lead the Astros by the same score in the bottom. First. One final today saw the Brewers over the Cards in Game 1 of their doubleheader 4-3. And the Toronto Blue Jays will be in action at 7:45 out as they take on the Giants. Miles on the mound for that one. Some news from the sporting world. The Toronto Maple Leafs have hired former Ottawa Senators rival Daniel Alfredson as an associate head coach. Kyle Lowry did retire as a Raptor today after signing a 1-year contract. And Donovan Mitchell signs his 4-year, $273 million extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. One final piece of news, as Canadian superstar Summer McIntosh has withdrawn from the Canadian swimming trials due to an illness. I'm Declan Kruger. This is the Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Boxing Week is back at the Brick. Don't wait until winter. Get blowout pricing now. Save 55% off sofas when you buy the matching piece. Save up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get free local delivery when you use your Flexity card. And buy more, save more. Up to $500 off select major appliances. Don't miss the return of Boxing Week, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The only thing better than a day on the golf course? Scoring big savings with fairways to heaven. Once again, we've partnered with some of Alberta's finest fairways to bring you this exclusive offer.
Up next, we'll be playing Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort.
Join us on Monday, July 13th. You and a friend can golf for only $60 with Power Cart. That's right. A twosome can tee off for just $60 with cart at spectacular Silver Creek, just south of Camrose. With over 200 serviced camping sites, why not make a long weekend of it? But don't wait. Silver Creek is less than a week away, so book now and save at k97.ca.
Plus, everyone can enter to win this season's grand prize, a $1,500 prepaid Visa from the Golf Cart people. Scan the QR code in their showroom or stop by and enter when we play this year's featured fairways. Fairways to heaven. Go to k97.ca.
What you need to do is be thankful.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, Colombia going home. They lose in penalties, and the quarterfinals are set at the World Cup 2026. We will have, starting on Thursday, we're going to have France, Morocco, then Friday, Spain, Belgium, Saturday, 2 games, Norway, England, Argentina, and Switzerland. So if you had to ask me today, I'm taking France. I'm taking Argentina. Ooh, that Norway-England game is going to be epic, man. I kind of like both those teams. But I might lean to Norway. And Spain, Belgium. I'll go with Belgium just for fun. Right now, they're hot. They're red hot ever since the Senegal comeback. They've been on fire. So I'll go with them. And they're dancing. So who doesn't like their dancing right now? Got to go with that. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You want to get on some action tonight? Go to the Jason Gregor Show. We always got some special action for you with a little odds boosts. We got a little MLB tonight, one involving non-Jays games. Then we have the Jays, our slump buster, and also a little early action on the Elks to get another win. Prove to 2-0 at home, 4-1 on the season. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the Spec Report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists, and those bad boys are hiring, baby. You got experience or you're just starting? Operator? Looking for those. Top men, top women, check it out at GS Construction. Is Mark Spector from Roger Sportsnet joins us. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm down here at the quarry playing Taylor Sinsky's place. First 18 holes of golf of the year, Jay. Could you believe it?
That is, I can, considering how wet it's been. So I know. I understand it. So hopefully everything is dry out there. Spec, how are the bushes?
Filled with mosquitoes. What the hell else do you think? I'm actually in that phase of my game. You know, when you play your first game of the year and you go out and you hit it way better than you thought. And then you go, man, this is going to be a great year. I'm going to hit the ball awesome this year. This is going to be my best summer ever. And then the next few rounds, you play really crappy and you come back down to earth. So I'm actually hitting it pretty good today. It's my first round. So I'm due for some crappy ones coming up.
Oh, yeah. No, normally the first round, I don't know what it is about it, but you say, hey, man, I'm knocking off the rust. I'm feeling good. Everything's great. And then,
I can play. Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly it goes downhill pretty quick from that. Are you a believer in karma, Spec?
Oh boy, am I ever. I watched that game with the rest of the world last night. And yes, I am. And not even karma, but emotion. Like, they had a team that for the first time ever, or not ever, first time in a long time, the rest of the world was kind of looking at that American team and going, they wouldn't mind these guys. They're kind of a plucky team, and they're not that talented, but we don't mind them. And we're coming to America, and all like the Scots were having fun, and the Norgies were having fun. And, America, it's not so bad. And maybe we've been giving it a bad rap. And then Trump gets involved, and he pulls that red card stunt, and everyone's back to hating Team USA. And the game starts, and they got nothing, man. I mean, they got nothing. Canada was so much closer to beat Morocco than they were to winning last night. It's not even funny, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, Canada missed their chance in the first half, and who knows if they would have went up 1-0, would have been there. The U.S. was really they were never really dangerous in that game. Belgium was just a better team. They looked emotionally. And I have a little empathy for the American players. Because up until that, everyone was like, oh, what a, kind of exciting young team. And they're playing great. Right. And then, of course, because like he always has to make it about himself. And that just turned everybody on them. And I'm sure he quietly pulled the players like, we didn't ask for this. Like, what, we might not like the fact that the red card, now it depends. Some people thought it was a red card. Other people think it wasn't a red card. Well, that happens all the time. But you don't go out there and get it overturned. And it was karma. And so I do kind of feel a little bit for the American players because they got kind of caught up in something that had nothing to do with them.
Oh, absolutely. They did. It's completely not their fault. But guess what, man? You put USA on your chest in 2026, and this is what happens to you. Your president is an ass, and he gets involved. Like, look what happened with the U.S. Olympic hockey team. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that U.S. Olympic hockey team until the government guys are all drinking booze in their celebration and they're putting it on their internet. And by the end of it, they kind of look crappy. And Team USA's hockey win at the Olympics. And it wasn't the players' fault, right? It was America's fault. And you know what? Like, this is a sports show, not a political show. But when the guy running your country is that guy, bad stuff happens, and that's what's going on right now.
And you look at it. We finally today had our first penalties in the round of 16, and Switzerland moves on. Argentina had an epic comeback, similar to Belgium over Senegal in the previous round. You had you had that unreal England-Mexico game. Like, outside of that Portugal-Spain game, it's kind of a dud. All the other ones here were highly entertaining. And, Canada's, the last 20 minutes maybe wasn't the best, but, the first half, everybody was enjoying that game. It was entertaining. And so now we get to the quarters. Like, overall, I think this World Cup has been, like must-watch TV for most of the matches.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing is the distance between, Canada and Morocco. It's less than it used to be, right? The distance between Egypt and Argentina, oh my God, Egypt's up 2-0 with like the 73-minute mark. That's not supposed to happen, and it hasn't happened in the past. So I'll never purport to be a soccer expert, but what I see is the bottom teams are getting better, and they can challenge, the best teams. It's not just 8 good teams anymore, Jay. It's probably 12 really good teams and another 10 or 12 that are damn good and can knock you off on the day. So that's why this World Cup has been magic. Like, it has been such a great World Cup. I've enjoyed it. I've watched a ton of soccer here. And, way to go. Everybody's happy because the games are good.
Mark Spector joins us. Spec, Declan asked earlier, like, who do you think's on the team or not? Like, unless there's injuries in training camp, I just don't see how Stastny makes a team. And somebody asked me then, why pay him 1.5? And I think part of it is maybe due to, hey, maybe we can squeeze this guy through waivers because you want depth. You don't want to lose it in case of injuries. But the truth of the matter is, you can't keep 8 or 9 defensemen, so some guys got to go to the minors. And like when I look at it right today, I have Emerson ahead of Stastny. He's a righty, right? And they're battling for the third pair right defense spot. He's more physical. Like I don't really know what Stastny is as a player.
Yeah, he skates well. That's what he does. He's a good skater. After that, he doesn't have any attribute to my eye that makes him stand out as, oh boy, did you see Stastny do this, or did you see the way he does that? No. When he skates, when he gets the puck, or when he's catching somebody, he can really skate. He's got real good boots. But to me, after that, he's a piece. Listen, if he's my 8, like good teams that go on long playoff runs, sometimes you lean on your 7 and your 8 and your 9, right? So I'm not going to criticize Stan Bowman for having guys that can't make his team that are still pretty good players. I mean, that means you're deep, and that means you're good. And if you want to try to win the Stanley Cup, you can't just have 6 NHL D-men. You probably need 8 or 9 of them, don't you?
Well, usually history will tell us that for sure, right?
That's okay. So he doesn't make the team. Big deal. He goes to Baco, or I guess someone picks him up. But
yeah,
at the start of the year, the waiver wire is so full of guys. You can always squeeze someone through.
Yeah.
And remember, they're also keeping 3 goalies here, so they're not keeping 8 defensemen.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Oh well, yeah, they're going to have to with the 3 netminders. I wrote today about at Oilersnation about how DJ Smith might deploy the Oilers blue liners, and I think we'd all agree, the top 5, regardless of who they play with, are Bouchard, Ekholm, Murphy, Wallman, and Shea. I think there's 2 positions, Spec, that I think are locks going into camp. First pair right defense, Evan Bouchard. Second pair right defense, Connor Murphy. Everything else up in there. I don't like. I think there's a really good chance, because training camp is very short and you can only play 2 games max as a veteran, that Ekholm and Bouchard will start the season together, because it's something that you've got. They play well together. They've done it all the time. But Wallman and Shea, where they play, and maybe I'm wrong on Ekholm, like where do you come out on how you think that left side is going to shake up to start the regular season?
Well, Stan Bowman said to me and to others, he says, Wallman's got to take a little bit bigger bite here. He's got to play over 20 minutes, and we'd like to back off on Ekholm's minutes. So, okay, so if that's what we're trying to do, now how do we do that? Like, if you're telling me that you're going to back off on Ekholm's minutes, you're not backing off on Bouchard's minutes, right? Or maybe you are.
Oh, I think you are.
Do you think? Okay, so my point would be this. In backing off on Ekholm's minutes, are you keeping him as a pair with Bouchard and just playing the second pair more? Or are you giving some other guys shits for Bouchard?
I look at, the reason Bouchard's minutes I think are going down is because of the penalty kill. And that's where I looked at how DJ Smith deployed his defense people in LA last year. Because I think a lot of you can get a sense of what a coach is and how he wants. Like, he basically had, 3 D pairs. Now, they were healthy, so that helped. But Anderson played with Doughty, Clark played with Emerson, and Dumoulin played with Ceci. Now, the one switch he made was he would switch Ceci and Doughty. And Ceci would play with Anderson about 250 minutes, and Doughty would play with Dumoulin about 250 minutes. And Clark played a lot of the time with Emerson. But then on the penalty kill, he switched up some guys. Emerson was his main guy, and then Anderson was his second guy. So I look at it and say, Shea and Murphy might not play together 5-on-5, but I'm going to be stunned if they're not the first pair over the boards on the penalty kill.
That's totally fair, right? That's totally fair. That first of all, the theme of this whole season is going to be, and we've been talking about this for a long time, roles for all the bottom guys, sharing the jobs, what did Babcock say? Everyone has to feel important. And we all know that comes with special teams. The star players can't take up PK minutes. So I know Bouchard's killed lots of penalties, and he's not a bad penalty killer. He's got nice numbers there, as I recall. But I think you have to try other guys at it and take some minutes off of Bouchard's night by letting Ryan Shea kill that penalty instead, right? By letting Muka Madulin kill that penalty instead. I don't know what kind of PK guy he is. I haven't done my homework on him yet. But to me, that's where your minutes. Is that not the only place you're finding your minutes, Jay? you're taking some minutes from McDavid. You're sure as heck not taking him on the power play. you're taking him off the PK, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, you're taking him. Yeah, you're taking him off the penalty kill for sure, and I think it's smart. I don't need my best defenseman playing penalty kill minutes when his best attribute is offense. And now we're putting him on the ice in more defensive situations. I don't get it. I'd rather him play an extra minute, or not an extra minute, but save his energy and play the next shift 5-on-5. And I think that's going to be much more impactful and beneficial to him.
This is the whole, like, this is what the advertisement is. Their advertising, Babcock, is a different team with different roles, a more of a team-oriented situation here instead of a superstars and a bunch of guys. And the coach is smart. Babcock, say what you want about Babcock. He's a smart hockey guy. So I'm very interested to see how it unfolds. It's supposed to be different, Jay. It better look different 10 games into the year, or we're going to say, what's going on here?
Very true. Spec, get back to your golf game. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Jake.
There you go. It's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. I'll take a quick break. DVD is going to join us next. Lots of soccer and hockey to get to. It's the Gregor Show, Tuesday edition, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All Star Construction on Indeed.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanTorque brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.522 rolling through. This shows are just flying right by, man. I love it. There's so much to get to in the shows. Can't wait. Of course, we got another busy week coming up in the Canadian Football League. Of course, starting Thursday night, you will have the Elks taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. And then it's Friday, Toronto, Winnipeg, Saturday, Calgary, Montreal, and Sunday, Hamilton and Saskatchewan, as the CFL continues their one game a week. Now, next week, that changes. They'll play Friday and then 2 games on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. And they're back to their, for the next, then they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. So they really want to go with that kind of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They have a few Sundays, and then they'll eliminate those and go with 2 Saturday games, which I don't think is a bad plan at all. We're going to get DVD in a second, but first, hey, Gregor, any update on Matthias Janmark? Is he back to start the season? I like his speed and smarts from Garrett. My understanding is everything right now is trending in the right direction, and he should be ready to roll by the start of next season. There was nobody, I remember, and I haven't asked for an update, so unless a player gets injured in their training in the offseason, I don't. There should be no reason for any player to come to camp not ready to go at the start of the season, which obviously hasn't been the case for the last few years. I remember Zach Hyman last year and guys in the past. So a healthy Oilers team with a new coach, a team of veterans who are, I think, going to be more respectful of the regular season. And to me, all those arrows point to the Oilers getting off to a good start. Now, we don't know their schedule, but I don't think you're going to have some crazy killer schedule. It's not like there's a reason where they have to be gone, and go on a 3-week road trip early in the year, right? There's no renovation going on at the stadium. There's no big event that's coming in. They don't have anything like that. So, you might have a stretch where you play Colorado, Vegas, Dallas, 3 games in a row, but that's pretty damn rare, man. So I don't see any reason why the Oilers can't have a good start to the season. And now, just because you have a slow start doesn't mean that you can't come back. But chasing your tail a little bit is never ideal. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. It's your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. That is the Summit Restaurant in Silent Ice Center. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Of course, a long time, huge covered soccer for a long time. DVD, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, Jason. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great, man. We'll get to the Oilers in a second, but of course, I know footy is your main priority. Give me your thoughts today. Did you watch the Argentina game, and what did you make of the disallowed goal for Egypt?
I didn't like it. I didn't. If we're gonna start, in soccer, if you're gonna start going back 45, 50 seconds to see if there was fouls in the buildup of the play, like it was a chintzy foul. Listen, if the referee doesn't call the foul, then you play on. It's kind of like scoring a goal and going back 2 minutes to find out that the puck went in on offside. Like I'm not a fan of that. At some point, you got to just keep playing. I think it would have been a niggly foul. Like it would have been something that that probably would have been called. I think they were hard done by. I think they should have went up 3-1. I think I understand the frustration with Egypt. It seems like there's two sets of rules here, Jason. There's one set for the Stars and the home team, and there's another set for everybody else. And I think that's the one thing that's kind of frustrating everybody right now is that, a guy gets a red card because they look at it, that he stomped on a guy's ankle. Okay, that's a red card. But then Messi does it. They don't look at it. He doesn't get a red card. And you can say various examples. Like if you want to go back far enough to find a foul to negate a goal, you can do that. It's like you can find holding call on every play in football if you wanted to. And imagine if we had video replay where the guy throws a touchdown pass. Oh, let's look at video replay if there might have been a hold on the offensive line that was missed. Of course, you're going to find it. And so they're looking for it's a sport that thrives on goals and thrives on emotion. And that was such an emotional thing to score that goal, to go up. They're on the verge of knocking Argentina out of the World Cup, and then to get it taken away like that, it's just getting. I can understand, like they got to figure it out. At some point, this VAR was put in to kind of reverse obvious errors, obvious mistakes, and that wasn't an obvious mistake. Like that could have gone 50-50 in terms of whether that was a foul or not. Especially the way guys now are kind of flopping and looking for fouls and trying to get calls. The referee didn't think it was a foul on the field. You should have been playable to play on. Now, saying that, marks for Argentina for coming back because they were down 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. Yes. I thought they were done. And they did come back and score 3 goals. But, yeah, I think Egypt has all the right in the world to be aggrieved by that because you can't have 2 separate sets of rules. And that's what we're seeing right now with FIFA is that you have one set for one superstar, one team, and another set for everybody else. And that's the problem, I think, right now with what's going on with FIFA.
You mentioned the comeback, and you tie that in with the Belgian comeback over Senegal in the round, in the previous round. Like, we've had some unbelievable. Like, it's just wild to me. You go 85 minutes, you can't score, and then suddenly you score 3 goals. In the case of Argentina, it was 3 goals in 14 minutes to win that game. They didn't even get to they just got to injury time. They didn't even get to extra time to win. And like there has been like that England game against Mexico was phenomenal. Like there's been some of the greatest matches that I can recall. Now, maybe it's just because it's recency bias, DVD, but I know you've covered a lot more of the World Cups. Is it just me, or is this one, there's more offense and there's more lead changes than I can recall?
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been really good. And you're right about that England-Mexico game. And I was watching it with friends, and England goes in. They play in a very – it's tough to win in Azteca because of the altitude and because of the fans and because of the environment. And to go in there and then they go down a man. And so to go in there and be able to pull that win out was something – and that was drama. Like what drama that was all the way. I didn't really have a horse in the fight. I know I was there with some English fans, and we were surrounded by Mexican fans as well. I didn't have a horse in the fight, but just the drama, and you can just imagine. Like I know how tense I got when Canada played. You're living and dying on every kick of the ball. I can just imagine what that was like in England. That was a great game. There has been some great games. I think part of the reason is because in the past, you'd get to your 45 or 90 minutes at the end of the game, and you'd have maybe 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. So you knew 90 minutes was going to be pretty tight. Now with the they call them hydration breaks. I call them commercial breaks because they've divided this game into 4 quarters now. Yeah. With the commercial breaks and then the 5 substitutes each side. So you're going to have longer extra time. So you're going to have 6-7 minutes. So I think teams realize that they realize, hey, 10 minutes is actually 17 minutes. So we can kind of push forward here and try to get something here late. It's been great drama, some great games. It's just unfortunate some of the political stuff has kind of gotten in the way and overshadowed the soccer, which is unfortunate. But I think it's now we're getting down to the last 8. It's going to be some more great games. You just hope that there's not more controversial situations like we had in that Egypt game today, or we had in England, we had in the U.S. game, a week ago, or things like that. Like, to me, if there's going to be mistakes in sports, I know every sport tries to be perfect and tries to eliminate them, but there's going to be mistakes, and sometimes you have to live with them. That's just human nature, just especially when you have a referee that's a human, and he's not going to miss everything. He's not going to make every call. But yeah, if you wanted to go back on one of those Argentina goals as far back as you could, found a foul before they scored the goal, you probably could. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that at all.
Yeah. DVD joins us, Derek Van Diesta. DVD, the other drama now, it's a little bit less because it's not every day, but tomorrow we will get the decision from Utah. Do they match, or do they let Barrett Hayden go to New Jersey? And then the big one, because it has such bigger ramifications for everybody, is the $18 million AAV, $90 million, $85 million signing bonus out of the $90 million from the Flyers for Leo Carlsson. What is your gut telling you about the Ducks strategy heading into Friday?
Well, I tell you what I would do if I was Pat Verbeek. I would take the 4 first-round picks and I would flip them and try and get Jason Robertson on that team. I'd try and add a 100-point player to your team. That's an option. I don't know, just the way it sounds like it. Pat Verbeek seems to be a guy that has like a chart. He knows where everyone wants to slot in. He's got a game plan, and this kind of blows up his game plan. Now, if he's got to pay one guy $18 million, where does it fit in the other guys that are coming up, the other young guys that are going to come up for their contracts? I don't think he can afford it if he wants to keep the team together. He wants to kind of keep a semblance of that team. And we've seen it here, where teams have one guy making an extraordinary amount of money, and then the rest kind of like $10 million below. You look at the Minnesota Wild, for example. Kaprizov is making 17, and I think the next guy's at 7. So there's a huge gap. That's not a recipe for success. You have to kind of have everyone in between. And you look at where Carolina is, you look at the teams that have won in the past. They don't have this extravagance of contracts. So I think the Ducks look at that and go, you know what? It just doesn't fit in our game plan. We're not going to be able to fit in other guys. I take the picks and flip them. That's what I would do. I would say, okay, good luck with that, Philadelphia. Try and pay your other young stars. I know the salary cap is going up, but that's a lot of money for a kid he's a good player. But is he going to be the best player in the NHL in 2 and 3 years? Is he going to be that driver? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But that's a big chance you're taking, giving a kid $18 million for that time. So, and which he'll become a free agent at the end of it as well. So, it's a tough situation. It's obviously a hand grenade in the plans, and they're going to have to figure it out. And that, offer sheets are part of the job. That's the way it works. I don't think Utah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that situation with Aiden. You have to kind of look at the quality of the player and then the rest of your roster. And I think Ducks have a lot of young guys that are going to become restricted free agents and that they're going to have to sign. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, to give one guy $18 million.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating story. Like, I think whoever gets them, they'll be happy in one side that they got him because they're a really good young player. But they're also going to be like, damn, this puts our salary cap into a little bit of chaos.
No, for sure. For sure it does. And I think, like no one plans that. Like, obviously the Flyers thought long and hard and said, okay, we can kind of make this work. And they probably think that getting him takes them to the next level. And I think as well, you have to kind of be honest with yourselves that where you are as a team. Flyers made the playoffs, didn't last long, right? Now they're thinking, oh, we got this guy, and then suddenly we're a cup contender. I don't know if you are. I don't know if they're there yet. But yeah, it kind of rises the level of now that you have to pay everybody else type thing. And so, and now what kind of pressure you're putting on Leo Carlsson? He had 67 points last year. Now you're thinking he's an $18 million player. You better get 100 this year. Puts a lot of pressure on a young 22-year-old or 21-year-old, however old he is, to now say, okay, we're paying $18 million. You have better go from 67 to 120 really damn quick.
DVD, as always, my man. Great to catch up with you. Now that you know who are the final 8 teams in the World Cup of Soccer, so we know the matchups. Of course, we've got France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. Who are your semifinalists?
Argentina, England, and then I got France and Spain. And I wouldn't put it past, like if the English can get their game together, Argentina has been pressed here. They've been pushed. They haven't looked as smooth. But if England can get their game together, I can see them getting to the final. And then, France has been the best team in this tournament. I can see an England-France final, and then all bets are off there. I think that would be a great final. So, once you get to this stage, kind of all bets are off. But I do like England's chances. I think the toughest game was going to be in Azteca. They got through that if they can recover from that. Norway's a good team. Norway's got the best striker in the world, but they're Norway. Like, they're not a giant. They're not a giant in European soccer. They're not a giant in world soccer. They have a really good team with the best striker in the world. I think England, you look at their roster, they're loaded with Premier League stars. I think they should get past that. And then once you get to the semifinals, all bets are off. But I do like England's chances. And I think this could be a good opportunity for them to win the whole thing.
Ooh. All right, buddy. Well, thank you. And have yourself a great week, DVD, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That is Derek Van Dees from NHL.com, huge footy fan as well. We'll come back. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Wrap up a busy Tuesday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Get your early morning going with the sports stories Edmonton Ashley cares about. Catch Tom Gazzola weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440. Edmonton sports leader. Don't just listen. Join the conversation at 833-401-1440.
Support your bones so you can stay active this summer. For the month of July, all CanPrev brand magnesium and collagen supplements are 15% off regular price. Only at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
For decades, the pioneer spirit of Alberta has been exemplified in the chuck wagon racing legacy of the Dorchester family. And today, you can experience it every time you hit the links. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is in top mid-season form. Enjoy the longer days on this historic 18-hole course near Pigeon Lake. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Boxing Week is back at the Brick. Don't wait until winter. Get blowout pricing now. Save 50% off sofas when you buy the matching piece. Save up to 25% off bedroom and dining, and save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get free local delivery when you use your Flexity card. And buy more, save more. Up to $500 off select major appliances. Don't miss the return of Boxing Week, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We get set to wrap things up on a busy Tuesday afternoon. Hope you are having a lovely day. Another sunny day. Oh, is it sure ever nice to have a little bit of sun right now after so much rain? It's very nice to get a little sunny. It's great. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts to get to, but first we're going to get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. Your AC conks out, it's too hot, late at night, call Legacy. They'll come fix it. Or even on the weekend, no OT, legacyheating.ca. As you get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Stop. We need to rethink about what just happened. William Karlsson got an offer sheet from Philadelphia. $18 million a year. $18 million. And now Pat Verbeek in Anaheim has a choice. Match it or lose him. Match it or lose him. That's the sentence that should terrify you. Two franchises, the Flyers and the Ducks, just got into a bidding war over one player. And suddenly $18 million a year isn't an anomaly. It's a floor. It's the starting point. Here's what's actually happening. One of these teams is about to write a check that rewires the entire NHL salary structure as early as Friday. And the other dominoes, they're not falling. They're exploding. Connor McDavid doesn't even need to call his agent. He just needs to screenshot this. Look. 2 teams think Karlsson is worth 18. What do you think I'm worth? McDavid's next contract? 25, 30. You do the math. The $20 million player isn't coming in 5 years. He's coming in 5 months. And the NHL, the league everybody said would never compete with the NFL, the NBA, just went all in. We're in the real game now. For real this time. But listen, this isn't victory. This is a catastrophe wearing a business suit. Ticket prices? Gone. Family accessibility? Gone. Hockey becomes a luxury good, a rich person's game. In Canada, the sport that's supposed to belong to everybody just priced out everyone who can't afford the vault. Someone's paying for this, and it's not the guys signing the checks. It's you. The fans. 2-minute warning, Sports 1440.
It will be interesting because it's a fair question. Well, the salary cap keeps increasing. It's because of revenue. But where's the revenue coming from? The NHL, now they're getting more from their TV deals than ever before and, from the internet and streaming. So that helps them. But there's still a league that in some, you got some pretty high ticket prices. And I believe that even though the cap's going up, and Philadelphia is a team that, it's funny. You've got some owners who are rich owners. But look in baseball. You've got a lot of really rich owners that just didn't care. They didn't spend money. They never built teams to compete. And they're like, it doesn't matter. Now they have revenue sharing, so it's a little bit different. But you look at the NFL, like those teams, they could have no fans in the stands and they still make tons of money because they're a TV deal. Now the NHL is not there yet, so they still rely on fans in the stands, but it's becoming an issue, no question. And I think some teams will need to be aware of, now, do I believe there's a good chance Connor McDavid could re-sign in Edmonton? Yeah, good chance. He could still leave. It would depend on some things. All right. I don't see how the Oilers aren't at least a legit competitor for the next 2 seasons. And all it takes is one good run. And that ends it, right? Look at Carolina. Look at how many kicks at the cat they had before they finally won. So maybe that happens to McDavid. And I think if he wins one in Edmonton, he gets what he wants. There is a massive weight of pressure that comes off of him. Now, he could go somewhere else. But if he just won, why would he go somewhere else? Like, who's done that amongst big superstar guys? Now, Gretzky won, yes. Won 4 times, and that was a little bit of a sale, and there's a little bit different issues there. Trust me, if you win a cup in Edmonton, Dale Cates will be like, whatever you want, we'll pay you. Because even if you don't win again, we can live off of that for the next decade. Which is true, you could. Right? For many of you fans, you're like, man, if I see 1 cup, whatever. I might be frustrated, but I'll tell myself, yeah, but they won. And it's true. So there are consequences to every decision we make. That's why I always have a chuckle when I hear everybody talk about, freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. No. Yes, it gives you the ability to say it, but freedom of speech isn't freedom of consequence. 2 different things. If you want to say something and be a bigot or a racist, and there's going to be some negative connotations because of that, well, you go ahead and do it. But nowhere, anywhere does it say that you can just say and do whatever you want and have no consequence. There's always consequence. Sometimes it's not instant. Sometimes it takes a while, right? But to me, there's always consequences. And in this case, with the rising cap, the consequences for some teams will be, well, they don't think they'll ever price themselves out of the market. They firmly believe that fans will keep paying regardless. Because some people can't afford it. And they'll be like, I don't like it. It's another 3% increase, but I'll pay it. And it just keeps going and going. And you know what? Come playoff time, they're going to super gouge us. And some people keep paying it. Now, some don't. And that's the thing. If each year there's a small erosion, it keeps eroding and eroding and eroding. Well, then what happens when your team has to go into rebuild? Because trust me, there's a lot of people who will pay for their tickets because they're like, well, okay, but the team's competitive, right? Ask yourself as a season ticket holder how it was in the decade of darkness. Now, you had tickets, but I know people would tell me, man, I couldn't give my tickets away. Now, you might live in a small circle, but you couldn't really sell them at all unless you were selling for half price, which is still better than giving away for nothing, sure. But there is that consequence. Now, I understand it as the owner. They look and say, well, I bought my team for this, and now all of a sudden it's worth 5 times more. So on paper, I'm way richer. I don't care. I'll lose a bit of money. And like I'd have to look to say, okay, what would be the point where you would lose money? Maybe they won't make as much each year, but unless their value of their team suddenly drops, they're not really losing money. Right? You're losing profit some years, yes. But you're not going in the hole. Because very few people get rich are like, you know what? I want to take a big loss. Now, some of them don't mind a loss depending on how many other companies they have. I understand that. And this is a tax write-off here and there. So there is part of that. But I think Cam is onto something when he discusses that there is going to be a cost to this. The salary cap was $95 million last year. It's going to be $113. So now someone says, well, that's $18 million. Are you increasing all of your revenue to make up for that every year? We'll see. Hey, Gregor, that was the best 2-minute warning yet from Garrett. Completely agree. Hey, Gregs, love what you said. Could not agree more. People think it's freedom of consequence for sure. Miss the days you got punched in the mouth from Camrose Chris. Well, I do see some people probably still get punched in the mouth for some things they say. And I know some people like, oh yeah, no, violence is never the action. Well, man, it's funny how things have changed, right? There used to be a generation that talked about sticks and stones will break my bones, words will never hurt me. Now it's like, oh my God, someone says some words and I'm crushed. Now, words can hurt you if you choose to allow them to, right? Physical violence, you never encourage it. But the truth of the matter is, sometimes you just got to say, let's go, right? We're not going to solve this with words. Let's go. You just have to. Hopefully it's not very often in your life. And hopefully it's for a good reason. Not because someone cheers for another team. To me, that's idiotic. Fighting fans on another team because they show up wearing a different jersey than you. Sorry. I have a hard time empathizing with that. I don't get it. Hey guys, I think you have to match with your Ducks, even if it throws your cap out of whack. You need your 1C, none of it really matters from Matt. It's a fair point. But again, at what cost? You're right. If you're Anaheim, you're going to spend a lot of time looking. Now, you do have Beckett Seneca coming. He's a really good player. So, the Oilers won a cup without Gretzky. Pretty good player. Now, the initial trade was Jimmy Carson and Marty Jelena and, draft picks. But then they turned Jimmy Carson into Adam Graves and Joe Murphy. And I think Peter Klima, I got to double check on that one. Right. And the kid line, and Klima scored obviously one of the greatest goals ever in Oilers playoff history. In the longest playoff game for the Oilers at the time. So you can do it, but they also had a lot of other really good players. And so I look at Anaheim, and they still have Jackson Lacombe, and they still have Cutter Gauthier, and they still have Beckett Seneca, and those guys are good. And the Ducks aren't a cup contender yet. So losing Carlson with those other players, if you could, and that's why I wonder here if there is a subsequent trade that says, okay, you know what? We're going to let you have him, but the problem is the guys that Philly might trade are both former Ducks, right? Anaheim's not going to want Trevor Zegras back. Now, it's a different coach, so maybe it's Joel Quenneville now. So would that trade or change Zegras' mind? Maybe. But it kind of seems like, you know what? Hey, my time in the organization, you allowed Cronin and their coaching staff. Hey, you're the GM. The GM didn't really like him, so I don't think there's any chance he comes back. But would it mean trading Owen Tippett? I kind of like Owen Tippett, especially at $6 million. I think that's a really good deal. So I'll be curious to see how it goes. Hey guys, take the picks and trade for Larkin. Well, if you can get him. I don't know. Right now, Anaheim's not on your trade list, right? That's the challenge. Which leads us to Dylan Larkin and Steve Yzerman. Larkin's going to have to expand his trade list as he wants to get traded. Darnell Nurse had to do it, and it worked. So there you go. On behalf of Donnie P and Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday evening, everyone. Let's get to Deckman and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Hire Good. Stable jobs, create stable lives. Find more. HireGood.com. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores from around the majors. Tigers lead the A's 2-1 in the top of the fifth. Pirates lead the Braves 7-2. Yankees and Rays tied 3-3. Marlins lead the Mariners 4-0. Nats lead the Astros 2-1. Mets up on the Royals 5-2, and the Phillies leading the Reds 3-0 in the bottom of the third. The only final today, but game one of the doubleheader between the Blues and the Cards Brewers winning that one 4-3. FIFA World Cup action saw Switzerland over Colombia, a 0-0 game at the end of full time, but 4-3 on penalties, and Argentina over Egypt 3-2. Wimbledon action from today saw Novak Djokovic won a 5-set match against third seed Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime. Yannick Sinner, the number 1 seed, also winning his quarterfinal matchup. In the women's draw was Carolina Mukova in straight sets over Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff in 3 over Jessica Pegula. Marina Mabrey of the Toronto Tempo has earned her first WNBA All-Star selection, while Kyle Lowry, also in the basketball world, did retire as a member of the Toronto Raptors following signing of a one-day contract. And finally, Moncton and Quebec named finalists to host the 2028 MEM Cup. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been the Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio